Take two.
OMG.
Okay, go ahead.
OMG. Sorry, everybody. We just got
You
started
just missed
here.
about 3 minutes of Gary talking. Great
intro, Gary. Great intro.
We got started here, and I did not hit the go live button. So, rookie mistake from a veteran, a professional who should know what he's talking about.
We
Sorry.
left the airport and returned straight to it.
I think I can speed through everything we talked about, Gary, but you'll get your say next
We're
time.
back on the runway, Ray.
I'm
sitting there. I'm talking for like 3 minutes. I look up and I still see it says scheduled over here, and I'm like, wait a second. And then I go over to YouTube and I say, let me just check because maybe it's just a refresh issue.
I wonder why
I look there and guess what?
Comments.
No, everybody's sitting there waiting for us. So
Rainbow
Ray, Ray Logic, whatever you want to call it today, Irish time. We're back in business. It's 2022.
Ray shipped my bed to start off 2022.
It was additional pre-flight checks, guys. That's what it was.
You guys have missed 3 minutes of me going off. I don't even know what I said. I can't even know if I can repeat it even. You don't even have a recording.
Wow.
Nothing.
Let's do what do you call a take two, right?
Take two.
That's right. Sure. It was Gary. Gary just went to VAR for a few minutes. That's all. There's a VAR.
Okay.
And I came back with nothing. There was no foul here. You know what? The ball's out on Arsenal, even though nobody else touched the ball. But you know what? That's what VAR sees. So we had it all today.
Here we go. This is what happened. I hit the countdown clock, but I did not hit the live button, and we've been talking for 3 minutes. But anyway, Happy New Year to everybody. Arsenal Fan Circle here. Welcome. We'll be here for a long time talking about all of the notes that we all have about the game yesterday and everything that happened. I can't remember what we said 5 minutes ago, Gary, but welcome to the stream, Gary, Tony, and Matt.
You're talking about 20.
I can talk. I can talk again. I know you don't want me to, but I can. You're like, I can't have another 3 minutes of Gary. But that was all on you, man.
Go, Gary.
All right, so it's 2022. We're starting a new year. We're expecting something good. Arsenal looked, for 45 minutes, Arsenal gave us pleasure, some really good football. 45 minutes that first half, everything was good. There were some missed opportunities on our side, but you know what? We'll take a 1-0 lead against City any day. We win a half, and I say it all the time. If you guys watch me on a watch along, we win a half, and I'll take a half win every time. Right? We got a win for the half, so now we need to come out in the second half and do it. But 2022. If this is the start, if the 45 minutes that we saw today is the start of things to come, I'm looking forward to it because I want some more of that. I want 90 minutes. Like I said, in my first take, my big note here is 90 minutes. Have to play for 90 minutes. Can't let up at any time. Need everybody to be on point. And I think there were some breakdowns by the senior and definitely by the youth in this game. And that kind of is where we are, which is disappointing. It's disappointing. I think it's points lost for us. City's lucky to get anything out of this game. We kind of let them back in, and teams like that will take advantage when you do, and that's where we stood. So lots of positives. I can say there are negatives in this one as well. I can go all negative if I want to. I feel like, but I can definitely go a lot of positive too. So it's a lot to talk about.
I think what we'll do is we'll get everybody's first take.
Gary's second take.
Some of us are second take. Matt here, welcome. BX Gunner, you actually had a few more minutes than 4 minutes because we didn't hit the record button on time. But anyway, we're up and rolling now. We'll get everybody's take, and I think we'll get into the negativity after that, basically about the officials, and then we'll bring the positive stuff about the game. And we've got lots of notes. But Tony, I'm liking your attire.
It's cold here.
Yo, Tony, why so swaggy?
Tony's going through his closet. It's one of those. It's the laundry day. So he's like, you know what? I'm not doing any laundry. I'm just going to put on everything I got, and then I'll do laundry after that.
Wait until I start rotating hats like Ray wants me to do.
Guys, have you seen that friend? Have you seen the Friends episode where Joey puts on all of Chandler's clothes?
Yeah. Could I be wearing any red notes?
Could I be wearing any more?
Steven said,
Gary's just mad because it overtook a show on Mondays when I have the motorcycle jacket on.
I'll not be in the chat for a little bit, but I'll be watching and listening.
All right,
to
Steve.
Steven,
Thanks.
so.
Yeah.
All right, Tony, do you want to have a little monologue about yesterday?
We started
Ooh.
off
Oh, yeah.
Marlon Brando. Yeah.
doing great on the attack, on the counter attack. I don't like us doing the counter attack that much, but it was working. The speed was working great. Through balls were working. We would have been miles ahead of them if Martinelli converted the chances he had. But first half, perfect. Nice seeing what we had. Kind of nice seeing a different coach on the sideline. He was animated, but he didn't seem like he was shouting at the players as much. Seemed like everybody knew what they were supposed to do. Then Xhaka happened. Then Gabriel got a yellow for talking to the ref. No vulgar words.
Apparently, Tony, the Manchester City players pushed Gabriel
No.
into the referee.
He got the yellow when they were running back up the field.
No, you know what? He got a
Chatting,
yellow
chirping
long
with
before
him.
that. As far as there's so many different times when he could have got a yellow. One was when he started scuffing up the penalty spot. That's where it started, and then he
Yeah,
started.
wasn't it because of that?
Yeah,
That's what it's recorded on the actual write up of the game that I've seen. It's all to do with the scuffing of the penalty spot rather than being pushed into the ref. Because I know I heard the same thing as Ray, where they were saying that actually it was because he got bundled into the ref a bit by the Man City players, and it might have been for that, or it might have been for what he said to the ref. But I think Svanberg said that all he said was what was up with that. So there was no kind of real swearing or anything like that to give him a yellow card for it. So I think it was just down to that penalty spot issue.
Perhaps, Matt, the same thing that Saka got booked as well. I think when a referee starts handing out yellows, he's probably under pressure himself, and he knows his performance isn't up to scratch. Tony, I want to go back to you to finish out your thoughts.
Yeah.
Oh, one other thing, Tony. The assembled. I see you're covering Arteta's team by your heading. I was really torn to maybe put a heading of indiscipline and incompetence, but I thought the performance for Arsenal warranted to be more positive than pessimistic. I think we can see more positivity from this team. There's probably, I'm running a poll right now. We'll see what happens. How many people are hopeful for this coming season? And I'll give you the results of that a little bit later. Tony, sorry.
Basically, lack of discipline cost us. Gabriel got the second yellow right after the penalty was converted. So, to me, the referees might have not been great, but it wasn't why we lost. We lost because we didn't convert our chances. And like always, we're not disciplined enough. And we keep putting somebody in a leadership role that we're supposed to be one of the senior leaders. And what does he always do? He shit in bed like Ray. We didn't hit record for 4 minutes. So,
like me?
Yeah.
You're comparing me to, okay.
He shit in bed. Hit the record button.
All right. When you're done,
nothing has changed, Ray.
Pass it on to Matt when you're done, Tony.
I'm almost done. But then you have Xhaka after the game talking about how when he came to England, you could have rough tackles, rough challenges. He pulled a shirt in the box. It's a fucking penalty.
Yep.
End of the day.
Yep. Definitely.
Matt, your turn. Enjoy your run.
Thank you. Yeah, I've got some very nice Caribbean rum on the go at the moment, so enjoying that.
Nice.
I've gone for alcohol tonight rather than soft drinks. I think we probably earned it after that match. Yeah, really positive. I think, like Ray says, it's very easy to get dragged into the negatives because there were some things that we're not very happy about. Obviously, we'll obviously go into the refereeing and the decisions and things like that because the officiating was horrendous. Let's put it that way. But we played some fantastic football. I've not seen us dominate or even compete against a top side like that for a long, long time. You know, I mean, we didn't just compete; we were actually dominating them, and it was a shock to me, but it was a pleasant surprise. I thought we played really, really well. We were aggressive. You know, we were first to balls. You know, we looked really positive. We wanted to go forwards. We didn't want to go backwards or sideways. Partey, absolutely fantastic. You know,
unplayable.
Where's that performance been? You know, I'm glad he turned up for that game because we needed him. Of all games, we needed him for that. Absolutely immense.
Now he's off to AFCON. We finally have a party we've been waiting for 18 months. Then he's gone.
Well, hopefully we can get him back in the same.
Absolutely,
Man, I know why Partey performed like that. Know what, Peter?
Oh no, that's a bit harsh, but I think a bit harsh. But no, it was fantastic to see. I think, to be honest with you, that Odegaard decision for the penalty really did cost us because I think that was at 0-0 at that point. You know, that could have been 2 goals to the good. You're looking at a slightly different game then, I think. A little bit more comfortable. Maybe some of the issues around Gabriel, etc., maybe wouldn't have happened. I don't know. But we did seem to show our immaturity a little bit. You know, Gabriel, to me, I was a little bit disappointed in him. He's good. You know, we're going to get things like this with younger players, but I thought he had a little bit more of a level head than that. A bit disappointed to see him get that sending off. I think the second yellow was a little bit harsh. You know, you would have thought the ref would have said, look, you know, you're on a fine line here. You know, just watch what you're doing. Give him. But
he's in a red shirt, man.
He's in a red shirt, yeah. But you think, again, that's poor refereeing. To me, I think we're going to manage a game. I know. But I think, as you know, any good referee, I think, would have had a quiet word in his ear at that point to say, because to me, I think it was a very harsh yellow anyway. And I think he said, look, you're treading a fine line here. Just calm down, keep your head. I don't want to send you off, but you're treading a bit of a fine line here. Get on. And then, you know, you keep the quality of the game that way as well. So I think that really cost us. I think he'll need to learn from that. I think for me, that's changed my mind on the future captaincy. I think maybe that's shown he's not perhaps got the level of maturity that he needs, because I think in the punditry, they were saying that, you know, you wouldn't see a Van Dijk or someone like that doing that. They'd kind of keep a cool head. You know, to me, I think that's maybe shown me that he's not quite ready, maybe in a season or two's time. But I think I'd probably give it to Ramsdale after seeing that. But still a bit harsh on him. But I thought second half, we didn't. I don't think we capitulated, but we made it very difficult for ourselves. I think the Xhaka, to me, I agree with Toney. If you grab hold of a shirt, you're asking for trouble, especially when you've got a leg across a player as well. Yes, the player does make a meal of it. It's very, very close as to whether, you know, he's left the ground before he's grabbed the shirt. But to me, it looks like he's actually got hold of the shirt, at least as he goes down to ground. So to me, I agree with the decision that was a penalty. For me, the issue wasn't so much that penalty was given. It was more the fact that the other one wasn't. And the fact that there was inconsistency in not going to VAR and actually slowing that down, because the Odegaard penalty for me was as clear as day. You know, you slow that down and everyone can see that Ederson takes Odegaard before the ball. So it's, I know it's something we'll come on to. But I thought we battled well. I think it was a real gut-wrenching goal to go behind, you know, that late in the game. I thought we actually defended pretty well, pretty solidly. Yeah. You know, I thought we did immensely well, because I think we had a good 25-minute period of defending with 10 men, something like that. I thought we did immensely well against the City side.
And we were still attacking.
About the 60th minute, it was a crazy 5 minutes of indiscipline, and you know the assemble is right in a certain way. Gabriel became emotional, got caught up in the game because of Granit Xhaka's stupidity. And
but we need to keep a cool head.
I've got a theory on Granit Xhaka. We're gonna go into that a little bit. And
that'd be a fun one.
Should I put my gloves on now?
Yeah, I was just.
You want me to put my gloves on now?
You might actually agree with me, Gary. You know, I think most of the time you do agree with me. It's just that we verbalize it in different ways, and it seems like we disagree in a lot.
No, I don't believe anything you say. I just want to fight with you. That's all I want to do.
Like a married couple.
I'll get a few comments in, then I'll go to my here. Holding gets booked for his first foul, and Rodri gets away with murder. 10 fouls, really.
94th minute until the first booking. Absolutely ridiculous.
Even Saka, Bukayo Saka, who, you know, he wouldn't hurt a fly, really. We want him to be maybe he is tougher than we think he is. Got a
Saka
yellow
is
card as
definitely a
well.
quiet assassin, man.
Stone cold. The ref told him to get up before giving him the penalty. I didn't think he'd give it at first. And it's careful. We have to note the referee waved off both penalty claims. For me, the situation is, in one situation, you're advised by another person. So you're taking control out of one person controlling the match. Another person has advised Atwell to go and look at the second incident and not the first incident. And if you want consistency, you should be looking at all of these incidents, because I bet if you measure the amount of time that it took to get to each decision, it probably was a very similar amount of time. Mahir, what were your thoughts on the game?
Okay, my thoughts. Firstly, shout out to you guys. Shout out to everybody of the Arsenal fan circle family in the chats. And I hope you guys had a great New Year, a great start to the New Year's. My thoughts on the game. Basically, I'm for once very calm. I'm just disappointed. I mean, we deserved to win that game. I've read a lot and heard a lot of. That was actually one of the top performances I've seen in a long time. A very, very long time. We had a solid 45 minutes. Constant attacks, constant attacks, constant attacks. Beautiful cutback for Saka for the goal. I mean, and then Xhaka doing Xhaka things late on in the game. I mean, I still have no idea why this guy's at our club in the first place. A lot of people are Xhaka sexuals as well. We look so much better with Xhaka in the midfield. Xhaka and Partey. Stop talking bollocks. Xhaka has never been good enough for the club. And
Just remember,
Gabriel
we
also
went 9
losing
games
his
unbeaten without him.
Yeah,
9 games.
well, when he
mean,
was, funny enough, as Tony said, Mahir, when he was sent off against City away from home, we went and did quite well without him as well.
Yeah.
10 games unbeaten.
yeah, I mean, ridiculous. Ridiculous. Even the fact that he got the captain's armband when Lacazette went off. I mean, God, what are we thinking?
Did you notice,
Anyways,
Mahir?
in the
I
second
think
half,
Mahir, I think it's a coordinated thing that Granit Xhaka goes to the sideline so that the crowd doesn't visually see it too much. And it's almost like, hey, I'm here at the sideline as Lacazette's coming off, and he places the armband on him very subtly, I would say, because Xhaka was right on the sideline. He's not going to be in the middle of the field where most of the stadium can see that.
I don't actually think he had a bad game overall. Actually,
that's again another one of those
but it's the liability, isn't it? I think we're all talking about the liability element of Xhaka, because actually that game I thought he played quite well.
Individual,
but it's that one individual error, and it's that costs us games. And you're right, Mahir. It's just he's always going to do it, isn't he? You can count on it.
We're not going to learn our lesson, Matt, until he goes, because he always. I'm sure he's cost us probably something like 12, 15 points, maybe even 15, 20 points down the line with all of these damn.
There might be that amount of negative points that he's cost us, but obviously he has gained some points. So it's a plus and minus. Overall, I would say he's a negative in the team. But you might have noticed this.
Ray.
It's not worth it.
Comes down
buddy.
to discipline.
It's not worth it.
As a professional,
all the positive that he gives us, it is not worth it.
I agree.
Because we just
he's in a negative balance for positives also.
50 minutes of that game
in a negative balance for positives.
Yeah,
like, Gary, all of his negatives are like up here, and all of his positives, the very little that he does give us, is like this much.
All right, I'm gonna back up Xhaka here for just a little bit, because yes, he has.
Please.
No. Here we go. You got to hear me out, because I'm telling you what I saw, and Matt probably will back me up. He had a really good game yesterday. He was part of what we were doing that was well in the game. All right, he was
an average game.
Now, can Sambi do just as well? I believe he can, and Sambi can offer a little bit more. He's still young, so he might make mistakes like a Gabriel. All right, but I think I'll take the negatives of a Sambi over what I saw from a Xhaka right now. where we are. Now, the problem now
Here we
is
go.
Zombie hasn't played in a couple of games, so now we're like going to have to throw him in against Liverpool or something. Whoever we put in next to Saka, next to Xhaka, hasn't played in like 2 games. Maitland-Niles or Zombie, El Neni's gone. So what are we doing? We're going to switch up our alignment? I don't know. But so, I think in that respect, and some of that's not on Arteta. It's just the way that this COVID thing came out and the fact that we were down a man and couldn't really bring Zombie in, I guess, at that point. But yeah, no, a couple of things that I was listening to as you guys were talking. I saw Stan talked about 60 minutes. And basically to start that second half, the first thing that I saw that I actually made a note on is Lacazette was pressing, and then he lost his man with the ball, and basically he started dribbling right through the middle of our defense, which if you watch in the first 45 minutes, the one thing I kept saying is we're keeping them in front of us the whole time. No matter where they were in the pitch, we were in front of them. The ball wasn't getting past us. They weren't able to break us down, and that's why they got nothing. They got nothing. No shots on target in the first half. Start of the second half, maybe we're wearing down or our intensity is gone, but they started getting into the middle. They started to be able to break past that first press and not push the ball on the outside. Problems happened. I think Partey came in with a challenge. Could have got a yellow. Didn't happen. But that was the start. And then like a couple minutes later, the Atwell starts to show up, right? That's the shot from Gabriel that goes for a corner. Not even a free kick. Goes for a corner. Luckily, it went off of him, or else it would have been their ball. That's how ridiculous that whole situation is right there. So that's not as bad as the Saka kick to the back of the leg, but it's a rash challenge coming in there like he did, because he knew he wasn't going to get the ball if he stayed up on his feet. So he had to go down the ground, puts himself in a bad situation, and offensive player, of course, is going to try to get that shot off, and nothing was given. Contact was definitely there, right? You always see, can you go through the man to make the play? That should be called, right? Not even a foul. No foul, no yellow, nothing was given. Are you kidding me?
Gary, you know why they gave the penalty? If Granit Xhaka hadn't tugged at Bernardo Silva, it probably wouldn't have been a penalty, because if you watch back the replay,
it should have been a yellow. It should have been a yellow before the tug on the jersey, because guess what? That was a dive. He was going down. Xhaka was going to foul him
but they basically clashed together.
Yeah. Now you know.
Gary, you're right, and we've noticed this in previous podcasts. They're not cautioning players for diving, simulating going down. We've seen that gone from the game.
Oh yeah.
And,
so essentially, the offensive player has the benefit of gets all of the positives in that non-call, because they can just go down. It doesn't matter if they're right or wrong. Once out of every 10 or 20 times a player does that, do they even get caution, much less a yellow?
Very rarely.
Never.
Very rarely.
I can't remember the last time I've seen it.
Yeah.
I think I've seen it, and it was for some crap. It wasn't even like a legitimate dive, So and the other thing that I guess this is me just going off to everybody. Matt talks about. We're gonna have. This is a comment Matt made, so I'm following up on it. So you told me take notes so I could get my piece. So here it is, me getting my piece. Matt was talking about Gabriel not being the captain because of the youthfulness of what he did in that game. Guess where that came from? It comes from the leadership group. It comes from the leadership group, right? Xhaka, after getting called for the penalty, is going off on the official. At that point, if you're a leader, guess what you need to do? Rally your troops around you and say, no, it doesn't matter.
Get sent off immediately.
Hold on. Gary is trying to get his point across.
No, I'm just saying, at that point, if you're a leader, you're trying to calm down your troops and say, guess what? I gave this up, but don't worry, I'm going to back us up after this, right? Because I made a mistake. Yeah, and the only mistake he made is he grabbed his jersey. That was it. His defense is poor, so I'm not even surprised by that. He could have come out and attack Silva before he even gets into the box.
Sure.
He just sits back there. He just sits back there, takes it, and then gets destroyed. Basically,
Gary.
he's flat-footed and he can't make a move.
What does a good team do? A good team waits for the weakness. They look for the pressure points in our team, and they got past Tierney. And who's backing up Tierney? With Granit Xhaka. We all saw it. We all probably said to ourselves, "Oh no, it's Silva versus Granit Xhaka." We've seen this done through the years. The new Zaha squares up Granit Xhaka, penalty. Murray, Brighton at home a few years ago, was actually at the game with Alex, Cannon Fodder TV. We on our way to Europe. All we needed was a positive result. We ended up with a draw against Glenn Murray, and here we are again today. Granit Xhaka is this alpha personality. I think he's very valued within the club with his team. But he has that alpha personality. He's not going to be beaten. His pride won't let him to be beaten, and he's stuck.
Did you watch that play? He was beat as soon as Silver looked up and saw him in front of it.
He doesn't know it. He doesn't know it, and he won't let it happen, Gary. And that's why he stuck his foot out. Toney's telling me he's a beta male. Meyer's telling me he's a beta. So is he alpha or is he beta? But his personality is he's not going to let that happen to him, and he's going to do something. And he had cover. He had cover behind them here.
Bernardo Silva was going nowhere. Bernardo Silva was going nowhere.
What, Gary?
Ramsdale was right there. Worst case scenarios, they score. That's it.
Yes.
But we don't get a yellow. And you know what? The flow of the game basically just changed since at that point.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
All right. I mean, everything about the game just changed at that point. And it made it maybe indirectly started by Xhaka, but it continued from then on, and he didn't stop it. Right? You got to stop the bleeding, and he didn't do it because after he makes that play, then he goes after the officials. So now you've got one of your senior players going after the officials, and now Gabriel loses his mind.
Okay,
right?
but Gary, are you saying Gabriel lost his mind because of Gabriel, or are you saying Gabriel lost his mind because of Granit Xhaka?
It starts at the top and trickles down. We say that all the time, right? So if your leader is going...
Every player is responsible for their own actions.
Yeah. I'd agree with that, Ray.
You can't blame.
You can't just tell me that and then all of a sudden tell me we don't have the leadership that we need in this squad. All right?
Well,
that's what you're going to say next.
There's a line.
Come on.
Cross the line.
If you're looking at your teammate going crazy, you're going to back him up, right? And think this is okay, right?
Yes. If you must know where the line is. You have to know where the line is. You didn't start the game.
You know what? Nah. I'm sorry. I'm not going to take that
Gary,
I'm sorry. I can't take it.
Look, it doesn't help. It certainly doesn't help because Gabriel, being a young player, all of the young players are going to look to the likes of Xhaka for sure. So absolutely, there is an element of that. I don't disagree with it 100%, but I think it's actually a very small percentage of that being the problem. I think, yes, there is an element of influence. I think when, like you say, you're right to say that, these younger players are going to look to the likes of Xhaka to say, well, what would he do in that situation? They're going to be influenced by his behaviour on the pitch to a degree. But I do agree with Ray in that, in that situation, you have to use your own noodle, your own brain and think, do you know what? I need to keep my shit together. I need to keep my cool because if I go off, this is going to cause real big problems. We're actually only 1-1. We've been playing really well and we've still got a chance to win this game. I need to keep calm. And that's where, okay, I know the assembled mentioned maybe a bit harsh not to give him the armband or take that away in my mind. But to me, a captain, we're all sat there moaning about Xhaka losing his cool and doing things and not thinking in those situations. To me, I think he's shown that he's maybe not as likely to do that, but he's still at that stage in his development where he needs to work on keeping his cool under pressure. So I think for me, I wouldn't give the captaincy to him personally until he's worked on that for a few seasons first. I think we need someone who's very cool, calm, collected, and isn't going to do those things.
But you know what? But our leadership group contains a player exactly like that. Exactly like that.
Yes.
So,
but then we're asking for the same thing, aren't we? So we're jumping from the frying pan into the fire.
Yeah.
Maybe a slightly less hot fire, and it might not catch fire as often, but it's still there, isn't it? There's still that ability for him to not quite keep his cool. We need someone who's going to be very cool, calm, and collected all the time. Very level-headed. You know, with Tierney, I don't believe Tierney would have lost it like that.
Tony, sorry, Matt. Finish and then Tony.
Yep.
I want everyone to get their say in here. Tony.
For me, I have to disagree on Matt. All season, I've liked that Gabriel's been talking to the ref. He's been doing it even a lot more since he has been stripped of captaincy. I think just pressure of a game, hype of a game got to him. He seen Xhaka throwing a fit. He was 30 yards away from it. He should have known not to come up and get up there, but there was
Tony,
10, 12 players surrounding the referee there.
Tony, we love to see that from Gabriel, but it has to be controlled, and it was not controlled yesterday.
Yeah.
And
he's started getting shoved.
Granit Xhaka, as Stan says, is a very poor example. But if you see somebody that is going to get you in trouble, you're not going to hang around with them 100%.
He's not a lemming, you know.
At some point in the night, you're going to say, listen, they're going to get themselves in trouble. I'm going home.
Yeah,
I've had a few beers or whatnot. I'm not going to hang out with this person.
To me, Gabriel seems to take up for everybody, no matter who they are. It shouldn't be Xhaka, but it was.
And Tony,
like I said, there was a ruckus around the referee. The referee should have settled it down. Yeah. Just had one or two players from each club there. Instead, there's 12 guys huddled around the referee. Gabriel started getting shoved while he's trying to make his point. Then he was still chirping at the ref, walking up the field. Went over to the penalty spot, shit like that.
That's where a good captain drags the team away. They say, get out of the way. You speak through one voice. A bit like rugby, you speak through one voice. Everybody else, clear off. You're causing problems. Let me speak to the ref. You know, it's just, I think good leaders sense that something's going on, and you sense that danger. You sense the risk. You say, get out of the way. You off that way. You off that way. Let's just get rid of this problem before it starts. Yeah. I think it was the penalty spot scuffing that got in the yellow. And that's silly. That's really silly, you know, for a player at that level to be doing that, to get a yellow for that reason. The second yellow, fair enough. Very harsh. And
it's
I think
stupid.
It's stupid.
We like shithousery. We like shithousery to an extent, but when you're going to scuffing the penalty spot, it is a little bit childish.
I just think, to some degree, the lack of or the example that the leadership is showing is why you're seeing some of the young players do that. All right, because Lacazette should have been the one to calm down Gabriel at that point and tell him, "Look, get your head in the game. We're not losing. We are not losing, but we will if you
know
keep
what,
this
Gary?
up." You know,
one thing, Gary, do you think Lacazette was thinking, "I've got to watch Granit Xhaka because he's more of a firecracker than Gabriel"? I maybe trust Gabriel just a little bit more, so he didn't watch him. And Lacazette can't do this with 10 players all at once.
Yeah.
He can only watch one or two kids out there. And if Granit Xhaka is one of them, he's watching Granit Xhaka, not Gabriel, who's shown himself. And Tony, this was the biggest test. He's not going to be under Manchester City examination. Gabriel failed that test at the highest level, in my opinion. But Gary, I think Lacazette probably was kicking himself that he didn't catch that situation.
If we lose Xhaka, if we lose Gabriel, I'm more pissed off. If we lose Xhaka, that's what he does. That's what he does, right? And he's supposed to be a leader, right? We keep talking about this. He's supposed to be a leader who's supposed to, under a lot of pressure, be able to control himself and get himself back into the game, right? Gabriel, you lose Gabriel, you're basically assigning away any control of the game, right? Especially since he's come back after the COVID, we've seen how good our defense is with him back there. So if you're a captain and you look at, all right, who would I rather? I don't want to lose Xhaka, but I don't want to lose Gabriel either. You know what? I got to get. It's draw 1-1. What do we need? We need a solid defense again. All right. We need to get our defense back in the game, get the head right. Where does that start with? It starts with Gabriel. So at that point, somebody needed to be in his ear. Think about it. If this was Van Dijk and Van Dijk had done that and got the yellow, I believe he probably would be telling himself, look, you idiot, I can't, you know what? I got to stay in this game.
Yeah.
All of my movements, and I think I texted this or I wrote this, all of my movements, I have to be 1 and 2, 3 steps ahead of it because I cannot put myself in a situation where I bring somebody down, right? The middle of the pitch,
Tactical positioning.
Jesus is going nowhere.
Yeah.
In the middle of the pitch, he's going nowhere at that point. So you come up rash challenge and you bring him down.
That is a Brazilian teammate. I don't know.
What does that have to do with why he brought him down?
It's a rivalry.
Let me go, Gabriel. Let me go see how he's doing. No. I can't put on the brakes. I'm going to run him over. No, that's not what happened.
It was a rivalry. We saw this in the first half. We saw Gabriel dominating. Now Jesus, and I have a banner up here. Basically, that Manchester City, they went into safe mode in the first half. They went, computers crash and it goes into safe mode. They went into the shell to protect themselves. They played through free kicks and throw-ins. But the captaincy, the Arsenal captaincy audition is running right now. Lacazette is outstanding. Holding and Xhaka are senior. But Tierney, Ramsdale, and Gabriel need to distinguish themselves as future captains. And I think there's a mark against Gabriel from this game. Maher, you wanted to jump in?
No, I just wanted to say, even based with what the Mancunians were saying, they say they haven't been pressed like that in a really, really long time. And we, coming from them, they said we deserve to win that game. And guess what? It was just individual errors from the same old people, which is what cost us the game. If we just had to remain without discipline, Martinelli just had to maybe even tap. Maybe he had to take his chance with that tapping. I'm sure it would have turned out the domino effect or the butterfly effect that we talk about. Maybe wouldn't have happened. The Gabriel scuffing the penalty spot, getting a yellow immediately after that. Kill the barging Jesus. Jesus and even Xhaka possibly not giving a penalty because it wouldn't have happened. But then again, that's all I needed to say. Thanks, guys.
The Sambal said, I don't agree. Xhaka plant then. He's a pillock. The team worked hard to keep the lead. He just threw away the team's hard work. To keep your calm under provocation from your own teammate is difficult. And, the referee, we'll get into the referee. Gary, anything else to say?
No, I guess I just wanted to go after Matt. That's all about him talking about my man Gabriel. That's all.
I'm sorry.
And then to back it up with Gary, any kind of positivity to Xhaka, basically just look.
Gary, I highly rate Gabriel, and this is not a knock on him as a player because I think he's fantastic. And all season he has been so consistent, and he's been critical to our back line. He's phenomenal. He's a beast of a player. But I just think those games are the real test of a player. They're going to really push you to your limit, and they're going to really separate the men from the boys. They're going to really, really test your maturity and where you're at. And I think in that critical moment, he's just shown that little bit of youth that he's maybe not quite ready mentally to handle that kind of pressure. He let that mentality drop for a moment, and it only takes one moment in a game to change things. And that scuffing the penalty mark, really silly. To kind of run into a player, elbows in. I mean,
whatever happened for the first caution, the second one. If you don't have the first caution, we're not talking about a sending off because he's on one yellow for the second caution.
Silly.
I mean, that's basically 3 minutes. It went from all right, let's hold on to this point to like crap.
Not only that, 1-0 up, we get back to 1-1, and we'll talk about Martinelli. Could have been 2-1, and then we're even 2-1 with a man down. We're hanging on.
You're missing the entire half. We should have been up at least 2 or 3-0.
Yeah.
You know what? So I'm not negative, but I'm just like the possibilities are there for us to run away with this match in the first half. that
Yeah.
everything that happened in the second half was probably bound to happen just because we were going to let them back in. Just because how do you keep a City team down for an entire game?
Yeah.
Right. But you got to set yourself up better than that, because we've seen City go up 4-0 and still give back 3 goals. So it isn't like they're perfect. So when you get an opportunity to take the game away from them, you got to do it. Got to do it, and we didn't.
And look, I'm not going to get my nephew to turn to Arsenal anytime soon, but I think Zach.
He was in early, and I saw his comment disappear. So I don't know if that was YouTube figuring.
No,
what?
YouTube wipes it out if I don't go live after a certain amount of time.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, listen, forget about it, Zach. In a few years, we're going to be the top dogs. So enjoy it.
You know what? City was scared for 45 minutes. They were. And then nobody can tell me different.
Let's okay, listen, Toney, we're going to talk about Jack, we're going to talk about Gabriel. Each player is responsible for their own actions on the field. They have to perform in a team environment, but they can't be like Granit Xhaka, beta, alpha, or beta, whatever it is. That person, we all know that person who's stubborn.
Xhaka's Delta, Ray. Delta.
He's Delta then, and the one that's going to do whatever he's going to do, and his mates have to pull him away from things, and that is Granit Xhaka. We live and die by him. I thought he would get sent off before the end of the year. He maybe precipitated Gabriel. Maybe it happened. Who knows? But I think
there's no maybe.
Gabriel was
the elixir happened. The little gasoline to the fire that was, starting to burn. Boom.
All right.
5 minutes later, we're holding on for dear life.
Yeah. All right, Toney. We'll finish this out, then we'll have a little word about the refs, and then we're going to go positive, okay?
Yeah. I'll wrap this up in a nutshell as quick as I can. But you sit there.
Hey, Noe.
You had Adams, you had Vieira. They made mistakes when they're young. It doesn't mean they didn't have leadership. It just means they're young. They make mistakes. You get fired up. You get caught in the moment. It happens to all of us.
Yeah.
Gabriel, Lacazette. We're quietly talking to the referee before a whole horde of players got around him. Then you have Gabriel getting pushed. So he's pissed off. Goes over there. Stomping on the penalty spot, still chirping to a ref. Then he finally gets yellow. But to me, Lacazette was doing what he's supposed to. He's sitting there talking to a referee. Then here's a whole group of players. You can't control them all. No. That's the ref's job to say, hey, you two talk to me, or you four talk to me. The rest of you go away.
And even an incompetent ref who you feel isn't doing the right thing, we're going to get into that as well. The exuberance of youth. You're right, Toney. And Gabriel, while it's a plot on his book right now, he can come back from that. You said Toney, Adams, Vieira were young. They got sent off. Arsenal actually in the Premier League now have hit the most sending offs in the Premier League, 100. So we're really good at that.
We're up by 1, Ray.
Up by 1 in the history of the Premier League. And believe it or not, there was football before the Premier League. But
11 under Arteta, or I guess 10.5 since he wasn't there. But
it's no bad thing. We were winning trophies and championships and leagues when we were getting sent off in our heyday as well.
11 in 2 years.
Huh?
11 in 2 years.
11 in 2 years. If you would mark that against Wenger, it's probably pretty much similar. It might be.
But that's
you got to try to compare what Wenger has done to what Arteta's doing right now, and then say it's an equal comparison.
Only statistically, Gary. Only statistically.
No, it can't be statistic. Okay, so then was he winning stuff with that, and was he finishing higher in the table when he was having his really bad years?
Premier League start?
Had better players as well.
92?
92, Gary or Toney, yeah.
So in 19 years, Arteta has 11. That's
20.
10th of them.
Yeah.
And he's only been
22 years
for 10% of the time.
He started in the Premier League. He didn't start before the Premier League. Anyway,
that's 10% of our time. That's
Mahir. Put a little bow tie on this one for us. Arsenal's in discipline, and we can move on from it. And I think the young players got caught up in the emotion.
I mean, it's not only young players that get caught up in emotion as well. It
Yeah.
can be the older heads. The older heads can be an issue as well. And what they should learn is that these youngsters look up to them, regardless of who they are. Whether it's Granit Xhaka, whether it's Lacazette, whether it's Aubameyang, these youngsters, the refs' inability to officiate properly caused our players to act out. That can be another thing in itself, where the refs are just sometimes just trash, man.
No,
Like,
right there.
we've heard it so many times.
That's our January window,
We need
right
to sign a
there.
ref this January.
Come on, find us a good one, Mattias. We're going to have a little bit of a chat about the transfer window as well. But find us a good ref
Yeah.
we can have in our pocket here, right here.
Okay. I'll call up a few UEFA officials and they'll let me know in the week.
Assemble said, Ray, if it's a team sport, why all of a sudden are the players individually responsible for their actions? Well, because they individually get booked with yellow cards or red cards. Very often a whole team does not get sent off. Is it a collective responsibility when it suits the debate? I don't know.
1 minute, we are a team, right? This is a team sport.
It is.
Well, we are, but at the end of the day,
so you're supposed to back up your teammates, right? When you see danger coming.
Yes, in the right way.
Nobody did.
But if that's the case, Gary, if that's the case, no one would have a captain because it's a team sport and it's a team responsibility. We don't need a captain. It's why you have captains. It's why you have leaders in the team, is to kind of reiterate that team mentality of don't lose your heads, keep calm. That's why you have it. Yes, it is a collective responsibility, but at the end of the day, like Ray says, at the end of the day, only one person's going to get booked for that challenge. If you go in for a record challenge, it's only going to be you, my son, that gets that red card or the yellow card. It's not going to be everybody else. So you have to take responsibility, and it is down.
I'm not saying that Gabriel wasn't at fault and did something really silly, stupid, and all of that. But I am saying that it is indicative of how some of the leaders are in this team, right? So it starts there, and I believe it definitely allows them to let it go, let themselves go, because they see it. I mean, the whole time before that, you've got your leader running around screaming at the official. So, you know what? And I think when I saw Gabriel get up there and it was talking with Lacazette like a few games ago, I was like, oh, that's interesting. And at that point, it's probably when, for me, if I'm Lacazette, I'm like, dude, just go over there. Don't come in here when I'm talking, because I think that may have gave him a little license to think he could get involved. But in reality, guess what? Let Lacazette handle it. You know what I mean? So.
There's a great comment from Steve Denham. It's a team sport, but you still get individual brilliance and you get individual stupidity as well. You know what I mean?
Do you think, guys, that although just thinking about this, do you think that Svanberg on the sidelines or Arteta, if you've got a tune in there and you can see what's happening, do you think that actually maybe from the sidelines that should have been stronger to say, cool yourself, calm yourself down. Xhaka, sort your crap out. Stop getting so irate and calm yourself down.
Yes, because that's the same thing he needed when he went after Klopp, right? He needed somebody on his bench to basically say, Arteta, what are you doing?
But you guys,
this game is still in our. We have not lost this match yet, but you're going to help them. We don't need to help them any more than we've already have, right? So let's play our game. Think about it. That first half, that's how that Liverpool game could have gone. And maybe we get a chance in the second, but we let things slide, and then boom, we lost some control. So your buddies. This is why it's a team sport, right? Your buddies sitting on the bench behind you, if you are Arteta, need to look out for you and the team, right? When they see something wrong, they have to be able to speak up, or else they look stupid, right? If you see like there's a sign that says the bridge is out over here, but you're speeding down the road. I'm not going to tell you to slow down. Then you know what? I'm not a good friend. I'm not a good assistant.
Exactly, and you have to look out for your friends. And I think Granit Xhaka has to be saved from himself sometimes as well. Mahir?
Now I wanted to ask, do you guys think, for example, this guy that took over for Arteta while he was away, do you think Arteta has that right-hand man or left-hand man? whatever, that knows what to do in those kind of circumstances to say, you know what, tell Grand Jacques or tell whoever there, he needs to just calm his bumper clut and relax because he's already on a yellow. And if he doesn't do that, he's going to put himself in a situation where we are at peril, which is a red card and a sending off and a penalty or a dangerous.
Yeah.
I don't know. He had his
Yes,
playing
that's
great. But he had his playing great.
I mean, he has not. He has coaches beside him, but they're younger than him or of the same age, and they have some experience. But it's maybe the experience that he's been lacking, and he needs that kind of help as well. Let's get to the referee real quick, and then we're going to talk. I didn't want to spend close to an hour on negative stuff, but it kind of had to. The organicness of the podcast went that way. Download the app, the Kahoot app, and play a quiz for a little bit of fun. Interactive. A little bit later, we got 18 people watching. Big up yourselves.
We had an hour and 4 minutes of it, Ray. You just forgot to record 4 minutes of it.
Yeah, you got some extra of us, Toney, today. Download the Kahoot app and be in with a chance for a podium finish. No prizes, just bragging rights. Okay. The referee, Gary, as I said, we want consistency and we want the one same person refereeing or officiating the game. We didn't get that yesterday. We didn't get both penalty incidents treated with the same respect.
Yeah, no, I mean, coming into most matches, the first thing people do is look at the official to see who, who's who we gonna direct our ire to.
You're gonna get,
and and we see things consistently now. And what I thought was even crazier is that I saw it. Like I said, I told you guys I saw a tweet that Atwell was the VAR official in a game today and gave a penalty for something that was softer than what happened to Erdegaard in the box. So it's like maybe I believe the officials, if they're going to go to VAR, all VAR can do is say, take a look at the video. That's it. They can't make decisions about a game they're not even involved in. I think that's where VAR has gone wrong. You're going to spend time looking at it, have the official look at it, and then just squash it and then let it move on from there. It shouldn't be a case of a fifth official directing the game that they're not even part of. They can't feel how the players are going. They can't feel how this game is being officiated from up there. No way. So, but yeah, Atwell made some really, really, really poor judgments there. Let the game get away from him, and then it didn't help us out at all. I mean, every I wouldn't even say 50-50 challenge that happened. Everything that went against every positive that we could have got out of an officiating response basically went against us. Right? We should have the PK. Gabriel should have been given should have at least given a free kick. Rodrigo fouled everybody. Didn't really matter. Mm-hmm. Right? I mean, everything about that was just going against us. And when you look at the number of fouls that are being called, and I think at one point it was 12-0. You can't tell me they haven't fouled us at all in the match, right? And this is like going deep into the second half, and you haven't called a foul on them, it's nah.
One thing that Manchester City are really good at, they're a really, really good team. But if you look back at that game, and I was watching it live yesterday, and every player, they're working the referee, they're asking the referee for a possible decision here, there, everywhere. And eventually the referee is going to give you a certain amount. I believe that's the next thing that Arsenal, maybe the last thing that Arsenal need to get in their armory is the discipline in their game to not cross the line, and also to start working the referee a little bit more. And I think it's true. Bigger teams are going to get bigger decisions. It's just the way it is. I think it's a true thing. And we're not quite there yet. We haven't reached the peak.
I think that's what Lacazette and Gabriel's been trying to do the last month and a half. They've been trying to work with referees.
I mean, I'll say that yes, the officials were against us, but we finish our dinner. We were more clinical around the
Yeah.
goal.
Yeah.
It doesn't, and that's where, for me, that's the positive that I'm going to take, is that
Yeah.
we had all those calls go against us, and we still had opportunities to not even be in that situation at all.
Yeah.
Right. You come into the second half up 2-0, 3-0. You got to be able to hold on. And you're going to take things a little bit more serious in that second half and not let things get away from you. Right. But 1-0 games, it's really tough to hold on, especially against a good team like that. So, Gabriel had many of our opportunity to get us that second goal in the first half, and that's and then you load on the fact that now you're playing with a 12th man who can call a foul on you at any time, right? And then a VAR, so now you've got 13 people you got to deal with, right? VAR that's going against you on every call. I mean, what?
There's that siege mentality. I love it. George Graham used to really buy into that as well, that siege mentality. Stan said he doesn't want favors, just fairness in the game.
Nailed it.
So, Toney, the referee, favored Manchester City a lot. They worked the referee, I believe. They asked for a lot of things. They asked for imaginary cards. And if one of our players, Gabriel or Saka, even said a word, they were getting their first yellow card. I'll go to Matt because I'm not sure if Toney is taking a break there. But Matt, one penalty is given. Clearly, it is a clear penalty because you pulled the shirt. We've already discussed that at length. Granit Xhaka did Granit Xhaka things, unfortunately. But the first penalty incident with Ødegaard, it's a lovely flowing play, and Ødegaard just takes a heavy touch, brings him toward that conflict with Ederson. But Ederson leads with his foot, and he does not make contact with the ball.
Yeah, do you know what? I just find it such a shame that we're sat here talking for so long about refereeing decisions, penalties that weren't given, when we played out of our absolute skins. We were we've all sat here and said that we played such good football against a top quality Man City side who are flying. We didn't just compete, we actually bossed and dominated. The progress from that first game, getting smacked 5-0 or whatever, to now, monumental difference. And that's so positive. So I just want to spend just a second just to say that, because whilst all this refereeing stuff is really negative, actually the progress we've made since that first game against City to now, I mean, what hope. I mean, it's great to think that this is what we can do. If we can do this now and compete against a City side that good, now there's such hope for this team, and it's just a case of consistency. So just for me, just that first point is just to say that I'm really, really hopeful for this team going forwards. But for that particular decision, to me, it's the inconsistency, isn't it? It's everybody says it's, why do they go to VAR for one decision and not go to VAR for the other? Why is it okay to slow down, the footage for one and be able to spend the time to give one decision and not be able to do that for the other? I don't understand it. Peter Walton on BT Sport, as usual, made an absolute tit of himself trying to explain and justify that. It actually made it. Do you know what it made? It made it more complicated and actually less easy to understand than before he tried to explain it.
He got himself twisted all the way around.
Yeah, and and good on. Do you know what? Good on Rio Ferdinand. Good on Jake Humphreys. Good on the guys on the panel for actually pushing him and actually not saying to them, this doesn't make any sense. I really respected that. And to me, it's clear as day. When you slow that footage down, it's very, very easy to see that the foot makes contact with foot before ball. So if anybody looks at that footage for more than 3 or 4 seconds, 1 or 2 times, you can see that is a clear penalty. So like Stan says, we're not asking for any favours. We're not asking as a big team to be given curry favour over smaller, teams or teams lower down in the table. We just want fairness. And that's what everybody wants. We just want to see consistent, fair decisions, because these decisions can make the difference at the end of the season between qualifying for Europe or not qualifying for Europe. Millions and millions of pounds, millions and millions and millions of pounds involved here. The progress of teams, it could be the difference between someone getting relegated and not getting relegated.
Yep.
These are big calls in a season, in high-stake games. So this VAR system really needs to be sorted out, and it really needs to be managed. Personally, I don't see how it's been made so complicated. I think people have overthought it, overcomplicated it. I just don't get it. It's very, very simple. If there's any doubt whatsoever, you go to VAR. If VAR allows you to see it every time, if you go to VAR and it's changed, you change your decision. As simple as that. I don't get this clear and obvious rubbish. If you doubt it, go to VAR.
Or being advised, like I'm reminded by Stan saying, if you're going to wear yellow pants and you go to your mate's going to be like, you sure you want to go out in that? That's what Stan said. If you're in a horrible get-up, are you sure you want to go outside in that get-up? A referee outside of the stadium influenced the on-field referee to make a decision, more of a decision in one of the penalty incidents than the other.
I don't believe that VAR should be there to tell an official on the field, you know what, you shouldn't look at that, even though they just spent at least a minute looking at it. If you're going to spend that much time as a VAR official looking at it, it's out of your hands. It should go back to the official to take a look. Because why would you even do that? Right? You spend a lot of time on it, holding up the game, and they're taking a look at it. There's a lot of communication going back and forth. Oh, guess what? I didn't see anything. Wait a second. Right?
I don't mind.
Think about it. That same
in the game.
Huh?
I don't. Do you mind stopping the game, Gary, as long as they get the correct decision?
No, I want the official on the field to make that decision because I can go after him. Yeah. The VAR guy should not. Like I said, I don't feel like he can make a sound decision whether or not to make that call. And he's the only thing that they should do up in that booth is check for offsides, because the only thing they can do that doesn't have any bearing on how the game's going, right? Because you can actually see that whatever their frame workout, the way they work out the frames and all of that, that's scientific there.
Yeah.
But when it's a decision to be made on whether there's a call to be made there, right, where there's a foul to be given at that particular point, that's got to be an official on the field, right? Because he looked at Silva go down, and you can see it. He's like, I knew that was a dive when it should have been a yellow. That should have been an immediate response because he knew it was not a foul at all. So it should have been a yellow. It wasn't.
Yeah.
And then he got talked into, you need to take a look at this because I think I see something there. He probably grabbed his shirt. Even if he did grab his shirt, like everybody said, he was going down anyways. Right? You can't anticipate. I know Xhaka's going to foul him. If he doesn't grab his shirt, he's still going to foul him because he left the leg in there. Right? So if Silva decides to take him on and doesn't go for the dive, he's running into Saka's leg anyways, going down, broken leg and all that. So we're in trouble at that point. We were in trouble as soon as Silva was sitting outside the box, looked in, and saw the only person in front of him, Xhaka, right?
Yeah,
he's going to beat most guys anyways, but he's definitely beating Xhaka in that situation. Yep. And the officials bailed him out, right? The official up in the box bailed him out. And then Atwell today makes a similar call, a judgment that goes against, that we should have got the other day, and that's the inconsistencies that you see there.
Let me round this out with Toney and Mahir, and then we'll get to positive stuff. Mahir, are you there?
Yeah, I'm still here.
All right, quick word on the referee, and then we'll get into positivity. I promise everybody positivity.
Okay, firstly, refereeing. Poor refereeing. Some of our officials in the Premier League are amongst the poorest in the world, and that's a disgrace. Because, who just said now? I mean, they should show it on the big screen, but they don't want to do that because to stand, because they don't want to embarrass the officials. Unfortunately, it is like that. It's what we call chomi. Chomi is like your friend. A friend of a friend. You don't want to now say, hey, you know what? They made a mistake and show it and embarrass the officials. So, that's exactly why they don't do it, actually. And the levels need to be upped quite a lot. And especially when it considers big calls that are game-changing, absolutely. They need to show it. so they can make a proper analysis and give the right
It's
decision.
ego, right, Mahir? It's ego. They
It's
don't want to be
ego.
criticised. It's all ego.
It's
They don't want to
ego.
be criticised.
Yes, definitely. And that's ridiculous.
Tail
Ego
wagging the
deserves
dog.
to be proved.
All right.
I mean, you know, the commentators in the US, the actual, I think it was the foul on Erdegaard. They actually showed the replay and they showed the contact, and in one instance I think they said, yeah, that looks like it could be, and then another one later on, the one with Martinelli, they basically just were quiet. So I don't know if they were told, you know what, you can't talk too negative here about City and all the fouls that they're giving, you know, they're getting away with. But it just seemed kind of weird that like nothing. And it was like, you know, this. I just want people to just tell me what you see and not tell me what you feel, you know. So
Peter Walton this afternoon on BT Sports said with VR, we don't want the correct decision.
He's a moron. The guy is an absolute moron. He has no IQ whatsoever. How is he on TV? Honestly, I don't. I very rarely get wound up by people I watch.
Stan,
I
sent you
he
the link,
blinds me
Stan,
up.
if you wanted to join as well. Stan was talking about forensics. One penalty incident, Tony, takes more forensics than the other. Granit Xhaka makes it easy. Ederson makes it difficult. Tony.
there's no difficult in it. You can't see it. You can't see it on live TV, Ray.
Difficult.
No, you can't see it on live
I'm not-
TV. If they did, then
Gary.
Atwell would have called it, right? The official on the sidelines would have seen it. Nope,
Gary.
two officials said nothing to give here.
Gary, it's my turn. And your lookalike.
He has been quiet, in fairness. He's been pretty quiet.
I've been
Gary.
trying to hold back. I've been trying to hold back. It's 2022. I'm trying to be a little bit different.
Now he
and better.
carries on. Now
That's
Ray
Tony.
eggs him on.
Tony's New Year's resolution is to be quieter and dress more snappier.
Oh, there you go.
Okay. Anyway, Gary's lookalike said on the first challenge that was 50-50. I think it was pretty much 50-50. As bad as the referee was with two major decisions, I don't think he was that far off on. Xhaka was definitely a penalty. The first one to me is a toss-up.
Right.
As close as it was, I don't think you could ever say it was a clear and obvious error. But going on to be
Welcome, comrade.
No, where's your vodka? You gotta have vodka, or else you're gonna have to get off the screen.
Jabruska.
we're sharing our
Where's your
vodka.
vodka? I'm sorry, I can't let you
We're
speak
sharing
about
it.
vodka.
Look, I just wanted to pop on just for a few moments. I know it's a new year, and I know that it's we've had a lot of bad news. But Toney, you will be receiving a deceased letter from my legal people for taking my Russian biker look. That's my look. It's patented. So you will be receiving a legal letter from my representatives. All right,
Uh-oh.
you thief.
Okay. Bye,
Comrade
Brandon.
Stansky. Comrade Stansky.
Hey, Comrade Stansky.
That's all I wanted to say. Enjoying the show as usual, and happy New Year to everyone, and happy New Year to all the listeners.
Happy New Year, my friend. Happy New Year.
Stan went and bought that
Brandon.
last 20 minutes.
With
Oh,
that,
that's
it's a perfect segue. We're going to go positive now, okay?
I want to
Yeah.
finish on VAR and the ref.
Go ahead. You got 1 minute.
But to me, every penalty, every red card should be looked at the monitor. Have a referee go over there and have him make the choice.
Yep.
If not, everything needs to go through the head of referees with a group of non-referees, like a control center like the NBA has or hockey has, where you're looking at every play, seeing where they screwed up or not screwed up. But on the other side, we've mentioned 100 times, it needs to be like rugby. They need to tell you what they're looking at. They don't do it.
Yeah.
The fans are clueless. But as far as the major decisions, I don't think the ref got it wrong. He didn't penalize City for their fouls like he should have. He he had a shit game, but as far as the two major decisions, I don't think he was far off.
No,
There's a difference between far off, really. Odegaard, wrong. That's a wrong decision, surely.
I think he's talking about the standing off and the penalty that was given.
Yeah, Ian Wright said it was 50-50.
If he looks at VAR, he gets that bang on, and he gives the penalty all day long. I think he got that way wrong. I think the Xhaka one is
either you give both or you give none.
Exactly.
He's waved off. He's waved off both of them. But he's been
He pulled a shirt in the box. It's a fucking red card.
It doesn't matter. He said it didn't matter.
No, I agree with you. But,
on the field,
if you give one, you have to give the other.
And
he actually told him to get up because he saw the dive. He saw the dive before the shirt pull. So he's like, you know what? No, I'm not going to give you something when you did absolutely nothing to get it.
Okay, let's talk positive, Ray.
Positive.
All right, my hair is going in the chats for a little bit. His phone is on 3%. We got to give my hair a little bit more airtime on Sundays as well.
Can we have Comrade Stansky?
Get in first, my hair. Get in first. Be first in the rotation. You got to get there early, my hair.
We need Comrade Stansky back.
Comrade Stansky dropped in for a little bit. It was great to see him, but it's us now. It's us four here. So, Gary, I thought we were brilliant on the day. And listen, okay, if we did this again, we'd have a different tone. Maybe not. We wouldn't have done the last 70 minutes the way we did. Every podcast is organic, but I wanted to get more positive than negative because of the title. Thank you.
75 minutes, Ray.
75 minutes. Yeah, but listen, I thought we were brilliant, Gary. I saw a 2-minute clip on Twitter basically explaining this was 10 minutes of pressure that Arsenal exerted on Manchester City, and it had to be speeded up to fit the 2-minute clip. But basically, we put what happens to your computer, it crashes. I think Manchester City crashed, and we made them crash, and they had to go into safe mode, Gary.
Well, I mean, I don't know about that, but what I do believe in, we kept the ball in front of us the entire first half. I mean, when I say that, I mean, like, at some points it was Lacazette would be all the way back by the midline, but the ball was still in front of him. Like, we kept the ball in front of us. They had to go outside the entire game, and that slowed things down for them. I mean, they could not get anything out of us. The defensive scheme worked perfectly at that point, and when we did put any pressure on them, we eventually got the ball higher up the pitch around midfield, right? So
yeah.
It was the plan was working. We just needed to be able to continue it, and we needed to be able to finish our shots when we got them. But defensively, that first half. Defensively, if we do that against anybody, they get nothing. They get nothing, right? They get nothing out of it. And then the way we played offensively when we did attack, for me, sometimes it was a counterattack, but sometimes we just, they eventually just wore down, and they made a really, I guess you call it a counter at that point because they've been on the ball for so long. But once we got the ball, we were able to turn it around, and sometimes we went back and built it up from the back and still got something. I mean, the long pass from Ramsdale to Martinelli on the outside there, where he's able to control that ball and take it in and still get a shot off. Who else does that on our team? Nope, we don't have another goalkeeper who can make that pass, and we don't have a play out there on the wings that's going to pick up a ball like that, coming Absolutely in at that speed and just basically kill it right there and then continue on with it and then make an attack. I mean, Martinelli put so much pressure on their defense along with Saka on the other side. I mean, Ake, I was saying Ake's name the entire first half. I was like, that guy's in trouble.
Yeah,
because he's just gonna, he's gonna have to bring help over because we were just getting everything we wanted out of it.
Yeah, I mean, commentators kept saying his name constantly.
He
was because every time, as soon as Saka got the ball, it was like, how is Ake going to be able to get out of this one, right? I would have liked to see Saka put some more pressure on him to where he actually had to bring him down, but he never did. He bailed him out in the sense that he bailed him out that. He didn't take the ball into the middle as hard as I would have liked to see him do that, to where Ake would have had to bring him down. I mean, that's the thing. We kind of not necessarily bailing them out, but we're making it easier on them when then they needed to basically come out and basically stop us because we were hurting them. I mean, the defensive scheme for me was working. Anytime the ball went into the middle and Partey was on it, it was so nice. I mean, everything just calmed down around him. No matter how many people were around Partey yesterday, it didn't matter. You had 2-3 people around him. He still was able to get the ball away from them and make a pass up the field. A lot of our attacks were coming through Partey to Ødegaard. You see that a couple. I think that's how we scored one of the goals. I think went to Ødegaard and then went out wide, and then we got
Ødegaard out wide to Tierney.
Yeah. So I mean that's kind of where that's what we want, and that's what we wanted. We're waiting to see. Everything about that first half. I want to see it again. Yeah. I want to see it again.
Gary, there's levels set now. We want to see our Arsenal players and team collectively. I'll get castigated for saying collectively, but they want to meet those levels. We want to hit those levels as closely as possible. And I want to see Liverpool in the league whenever that's going to be a few months down the line. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, I mean, I think I don't know how I respond to that, but yeah, I mean, that way we played, that starting 11 and the way we played, that's how, if that's what Arteta wants, then I like it. Because we can beat anybody playing that way. They want to give us more time on the ball. We can still beat them either taking it up slowly and cautiously or going over the top, right? I mean, even both Saka and Martinelli out wide were taking long passes coming in, so it didn't really matter. And as a team, being able to do that against City, I think we'll be able to do that against anybody we play. So I don't think we should be concerned. The only problem is we are going to be a serious piece down with Partey being out. Yeah. So we're going to need a similar. We might not get. I don't think we'll get the same, but we need to get somewhere. I would like to get at least 50% of that because I think as a whole we'll be much better. We'll be able to do that against the teams we're playing because they're going to be either depleted, like they're going to rest their players, or they're just not at the level of a City. So we shouldn't need a Partey level performance to get something out of matches going in these next number of games because everybody's going to be down a peg either just because they are
or Liverpool are already going to lose a couple of really good players left today. Mark Green said City had to resort to kicking us and falling over and diving, but then they fall over and dive every game. Matt, I thought that's City's survival mode. They're probably the best team at playing the game at a basic level, living and surviving by engineering free kicks. One time, I think Kevin De Bruyne didn't have the best first half, but he pressurized Lacazette into heading the ball, and they get a throw in from there. So I thought City were very good at going into their shell and surviving the first half against us. Our press was unbelievable, Matt.
Oh, do you know what? You're right. I mean, they're a team full of top quality players, and they know how to group themselves when things aren't quite going right, when they're on the back foot. They know how to play the game. You know, they're not inexperienced youthful players. They're not learning their trade. A lot of these players are, really experienced internationals. They've been there, done it, won it. So you'd expect that from them. I think the fact that we've been able to go out and play such good football and put them under such pressure for them to go into that safe mode, and I quite like that. We forced them to go into that safe mode. I think that speaks volumes as to the quality of football we were playing, and just how aggressive we were. Because I don't think City have been put under that kind of pressure very often. No. I think it would have been a big shock to the system. I think they would have definitely been a bit cautious of us, I think, with our recent form, but I don't think they would have expected us to really take it to them as we did. Like in the comments, it says, Ramsdale's pass out to Martinelli was absolutely sublime. The distribution. I mean, I watched that. When I was watching that live, I just thought that is absolutely phenomenal. You're talking about, it's almost like having another midfielder in the team. There's midfielders who couldn't make that pass. And the control
he is really good.
Oh, and I mean, it was pinpoint accuracy because he was on the move as well. And for Martinelli to control that ball, it was just Bergkamp-esque. I mean, it was just, the control was immense. it was like watching prime Wenger ball. It was amazing. We played some fantastic football. It's a shame that Martinelli missed that chance. I think, again, whether the influence of the referee cutting across him, there's an argument there. But do you know what? He probably should have done better with it than he did, even given that.
Yep.
But do you know what? If we can play to that level against the City side this good, that should be a massive mentality booster for us. That should be a massive confidence boost to say, guys, sod the result. We know all about the refereeing decisions. We know all about that. But we went out and bossed a fantastic City side. If we can do that against them, we shouldn't have any reason to not be confident to go out and play against absolutely anybody in this league, because we can compete with absolutely anybody. The Chelseas, the Liverpools, whoever we play, we've got a chance of winning. And I think that's going to be a critical difference, because when we went into this season, in the first few games, heads were down. I really do believe that we were scared of teams like Liverpool and City. I think the players almost went out with the mentality of we're going to get walloped. And you can see it in the second half, particularly. We backed off. We were a bit hesitant. We let them have too much of the ball. We weren't aggressive. And we let them come at us and score goals. And we just lost our heads. So I think going forwards, I think that's going to be a massive confidence boost. I think we'll see a much different Arsenal side going into these kind of games. I think we'll be much more competitive with the likes of the Chelseas, the Liverpools. I think it'll be interesting in the cup game and the ties against Liverpool.
We'll spend some minutes.
Yeah, we'll really want to kind of right some wrongs and make sure that, again, against a top team, we compete and we show that we're able to compete against teams like that. So I think it's really positive. The result so much actually is kind of a bit of, by the by. It is what it is. But I think that game and the way we played, and I think the way the fans have reacted, post that game with the amount of applause, and everyone was so proud of how we put in, what work we put in and how we played. I think the team will get a lot from that. So I expect big things this second half of the season, but it's about making sure that we go out and we do that week in, week out. But it's high energy to do that every week. I mean, to play to that level takes a lot of fitness, and it takes a lot out of players. So this is where
we got a week of rest almost the whole season.
We have. I think January is going to be interesting, because I think we need to make some smart additions. I think it's going to be it's difficult. January is always difficult, but I think if we can make a couple of smart loan moves or something like that, just to help with rotation until the end of the season, I think that would be great. But if that's what we're capable of and that's what we're able to do, then if we play even to 60-70% of that against most teams, we shouldn't have a problem. So really fantastic.
BX Gunner says, so we have to protect our players and build, or else the big pocket teams are sniffing. We have to show our young players we can win things, and they can progress their careers at Arsenal, and that's a big thing moving forward as well. Toney, let's get into that first goal. We've kind of danced around a little bit, but we were pressing City really well, and Ben White brings the ball out of.
I don't get to talk about the positives as a whole.
Sure, you can backtrack. You can work with my question and be professional and work back around it like a politician, answer it in different ways. But Kieran Tierney again stepping forward with the assist. Ødegaard makes the dummy. I think Ederson's got one eye on Ødegaard's run through the middle, and Saka sweeps it into the corner. But you can backtrack if you want.
I'll start where you're at here. Since Uba's been out, we're finally using what we should have been. We have speed. We're using them through balls. We're using our great fullbacks. You got Tierney. You got Tomiyasu, which are brilliant. So you can get the ball up there. It was a great cross, great shot. But as a whole, we're finally seeing what we should have been seeing all season. We got the speed. You got Saka. You got Martinelli. Now you have Ødegaard and Lacazette. And yesterday, finally, you had Partey, where we could finally penetrate in the middle and do stuff in the middle besides just relying on our great wings. I mean, with our fullbacks and wingers, I think we probably got the best flanks in the league, or close to the best flanks. And you finally had Party being the guy we thought we were signing 18 months ago when he joined us. Now he's our go away. Hopefully we can get Sambi playing that type of role. I think he can, if he's given the chance to. But overall, I think it was a great performance in the first half. What you wanted to see. I would have liked to seen a little bit more shots. I don't think we got enough shots off.
Yeah,
Martinelli was this
it's
close
City.
a million
Unfortunately,
times.
City had 2 shots, I think, on target all game.
Yep.
Yeah, we had 2 shots too, but we only shot 8 shots or 7 shots, whatever it was.
Toney giving vibes like the Kitchen Brothers from Fargo.
I haven't seen it, so I have no idea.
The team bar has been set and only increasing. Anyone not up to it is gone, and anyone coming in has to meet and exceed what we're doing. Guy, great first goal. Tierney with the assist. Ødegaard with that run. I think Ederson's got one mind to think Saka's going to lay the ball off to Ødegaard, and he's wrong-footed. But take nothing away from the finish. Saka is coming strong now at this point in the season.
Yeah, I mean, everything about it was just smooth and really nice.
Yeah,
and if we, I mean, it was perfectly like I kind of like freeze framed that whole situation, because as soon as Tierney gets the ball, you've got Lacazette and Saka both on the outside of the defenders, and then they both kind of converge right when that pass comes in, and defenders are basically stuck behind them, and Lacazette basically is standing on the outside defender who has no choice but to let Saka come onto the ball, and then boom, shot's gone. Like you said, goalkeeper's leaning the wrong way, thinking there's going to be a pass, because typically that's what sometimes Saka will do, is make that little pass, that extra pass when it's not necessary. And he took the shot from just inside the box, right? Just inside it may have even been outside the box.
We've been asking for as well, Gary. We've been asking for
just take that one time, right? Take it one time. He did it. Goalkeeper has no choice, and I think the more our players do that, the more we're going to see these opportunities to score go up and up and up. Because I mean, even in this game, this is, you've got Tomiyasu also probably one-timing it a lot too, and we want more of that. At some point, he's going to realize he's got space, bring the ball down, and maybe put a shot in. But yeah, I mean, that first goal, nice. Everything about it smooth. Like it's really good to see. We need to do more of that, and then, it's that. I think there's probably a lot of easy opportunities for us to score that we weren't able to put it away. But that one was just really nice to see, that we got that based on all the work we've been putting in.
I got some words from Martinelli as well. We'll get into that, but I just think he needs to look up a little bit more. We love his direct play, but right at the end, Toney.
Can we answer Stan's question there?
Yeah, we're going to get into the transfer market, but basically we have been talking about this, and I sort of mentioned Newcastle as a new kids on the block could be a possibility for Aubameyang, and it would not surprise me if they start the revolution with a big name like Aubameyang. But we'll get into that in a little bit more, Toney.
Oh, come on, let's answer his question now. We can get into the rest of it later.
No, we got to keep a structure. Stan doesn't mind.
Oh, I don't want to wait to answer.
But anyone else want to speak about Saka and the opening goal? I mean, I think we just put him under a lot of pressure.
The Toney pass.
Tierney pass.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
But and I picked up on this through the punditry, was actually, and I didn't spot this when I watched it live, but Lacazette's movement to block off the defender so that actually you couldn't get to the ball before Saka did. I thought, brilliant from a really smart attacking play from Lacazette to do that. That's great. That's using his brain and using his noggin to actually help another player get his goal. I thought that was brilliant from him, because without that, I don't think Saka gets to the ball. So yeah, really, really good. Great build-up play. Fantastic pass from Tierney across to Saka. Like I say, who it was aimed for, but it was just directed with great weight into the right area. Saka obviously makes the right move. Lacazette is using his brain and gets across the defender, and great finish from Saka. but he's getting his scoring boots on again, which I know Gary has been pushing for. I know he wants him to get more goals, and yeah, really pleased, because Gary's right. At the end of the day, you know, Emil Smith-Rowe has added goals to his game now, and Saka needs to up that from his side. So really good to see him get a goal. So hopefully that'll give him a bit more confidence, and he'll get a few in the next few games as well.
As Presto Play says, I think Arteta and Edu should agree. Send Aubameyang up to Newcastle and get some money, and so get some of that wages off the bill as well.
Here's a question for you. So you put a striker into that game against City. How different does it look? Do you feel like Martinelli and Saka would be as dominating as they were in that game if you bring in a striker who's a little bit more dominant in the middle of the pitch there? Because we always talking about City not really having a striker, because and a lot of their damage that they did in the game, right? Where did it come from? It didn't come from. There's, Jesus was basically quiet in this match. I mean, outside of being taken down by Partey in the middle, there was not much from him. He did have the one header, I think, but other than that, not much from him that you can speak of. So do we really need a striker, or do we just need a true number 9, an inverted?
We don't have midfield. We don't have a midfield like Manchester City. Until we do, and we can play like that.
For 45 minutes, we didn't. What? For 45 minutes, what were we missing?
I mean, you're right, Gary. I think in that particular game, I'm not sure whether. I mean, when Lacazette came off, I think potentially that would have made a difference. I'm not sure that first half. We were almost complete as a team, really, in the way that we played, and there weren't. It's not as if we had 16 chances to score and we scuffed 7, and we're thinking, Christ, if we had a fantastic striker, someone would have finished that. It wasn't really like that. So I don't think in that particular game, having another striker would have made a monumental difference. But I think across the course of a season, and as we've seen in previous games where we have seen Aubameyang missing clear-cut chances in front of goal, we have needed just that's somebody who can put the ball in the net where we have had clear-cut chances where those have been missed. I think across the course of the season, I think we do, as a whole, need a top-quality striker. It's just in that City game, I think we just, with the opportunities we didn't have, I don't think it would have made a massive difference. But I think in some of those games against probably 90% of other games, we could really do with that.
Yeah, I was just wondering, because that it didn't seem like the things that a striker are known for, he brought to the table in that match, right? Those weren't the things that we needed out of him in that match, and he does bring us a lot. So
I think we lost it. I think we lost what Lacazette was giving us. We couldn't replace that by substitutions.
Yeah, but a true striker wouldn't have given you what he was giving us, right? That's why I'm saying that, not a striker. We're talking about a striker. So we say striker, then you bring in a striker in that match. It weakens our control of the middle of the pitch for me. Yeah. Right. So you
can't even say forward, since he's kind of dropping back there in the midfield. Can't really say forward or striker.
We need a replacement for Xhaka. Yeah, and I think I've been sort of thinking about our project. Last year should have been what we see this year. Last year should have been the youth revolution. And I thought personally, Xhaka would not be an ever-present in the team this year. I think Arteta is like a year behind what we want him to be. So next year, don't blame me if Xhaka is still playing, but I think Xhaka will not be around next season, or should be vastly.
Don't say that, Ray.
I do, and Arteta basically have already said that he's their midfield
this season,
right? But he said it, and that the fact that he even said it once, to me, is just disgusting.
We turned down 40 million euros for him.
Here we go again.
Wind him up and watch him go. Wind him up.
Hey, I haven't mentioned the 16 million euros.
Every podcast, I think Gary, it's in his contract. He has to mention Xhaka 40 million.
It is in there. It is in there.
Hey,
Sometimes
I
you
haven't
just have
missed him
to.
with 16 million from Inter that much. Come on. all summer Zaka talked about was going to Italy. He doesn't want to be with us, but fucking Arteta wants to put all of it in, all his trust in him. And what does he do? He fucks up. He cost us the game.
I thought Ødegaard was really good, leading the press, imploring other players around him. He's got Martinelli, who's willing to do that. He's got Lacazette, who's willing to do that. But with his arms, he's waving the players. I think he was implementing the plan for yesterday's game. I thought Martinelli really needs to look for a teammate in the 42nd minute when he went on that long run. Beat Cancelo.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking too.
Ødegaard's trailing, Toney, and you have a simple pass to give to Ødegaard. He'll probably be able to get a shot away. But Martinelli, I think he's been working on it with the coaches, but he just needs to fine tune his forward play a little bit.
I mean, okay, I hear what you're saying,
Tony,
but if he's finishing, you wouldn't be saying that because you'd be telling him to shoot. Because I mean, at least two or three of the shots that he took, he turns them in, he scores, and you don't say that at all. So so for me, if he's a young player and he's working on what he's really good at, he's taking those shots, and you want him to take those shots because he worked really hard for it. He put himself in a good situation. I mean, the one shot where he goes wide of the goalkeeper, like he did it twice. He calls that in. We're laughing, right? Yeah. And that's more about finishing than he made a really bad decision. And you know what?
The one shot is a good shot. It's just over and wide over the corner.
No, but he did that at least 3 times. He had the one shot where it went far and high over the goal. Then he had the one where he got almost to the goal line and he puts the ball in and it gets the goalkeeper kind of, it pushes him out so the ball's low, but it goes wide again. He had multiple opportunities to score, and that's what I'm looking for, as opposed to trying to get the assist, which it's kind of a mixed for me anyways, between like what I see from Saka and Martinelli. Saka is always looking for the assist, all right? More than he should be looking for his own shot. Martinelli's just like, I'm getting my shot in because I did all this work. I got this ball in here. I'm taking a shot. And you know what? He deserves to take that shot. If that's another wing player, you're telling him to shoot. And that's where Martinelli is. He puts a lot of pressure on the team. For me, I expect him to take that shot. He's off, yeah. And that's I can critique the fact that he's missing his shots. Just the same way when Saka misses his shots. At some point, they're going to be able to finish much better. And then we're happy.
I just feel you've run 50 yards. You've beaten Manchester City through midfield. You have players to pass to that are in better positions. You need to make that pass.
Who are well behind you, all right?
No.
There's one situation. I remember this. I remember this situation. He makes the interception. Martinelli makes the interception.
Tony.
He makes the interception.
Gary, your turn's over. You interrupted long enough.
And Tony's the only one here who speaks sense, so let's hear it.
The only one who speaks. Oh, now you know. Now you know we lost the plot here. We lost it. It's all over. Forget about it, folks.
Ray's talking about Martinelli making that long run. I think he makes that problem every time when he does those long runs, or anytime he has open space. He's looking straight for the goal. He's never looking for his teammates. And like you said, Ødegaard's back there. If he back passes it, it's probably a goal because Ødegaard's been on form. Martinelli was just barely missing those goals, but a lot of them should have been passes. All he does, he likes getting the ball, running 50 yards.
Gary, don't let your personal affection for the player affect your judgment on the game.
Yeah, Gary. And let me speak.
We know he's your favorite, Gary.
As I just told you, there was a situation where if you saw it, Martinelli makes the interception right inside our half of the ball. Mm-hmm. He's got both Lacazette and he's got Ødegaard in front of him. With the ball, he beats them down the field. That should never happen. At
But
least
should
one
he
of them
pass
should
it
be ahead of
instead?
him.
They're
None of
there.
them were.
They're holding
And
back
then he
the
puts
pass, Gary.
he puts the cross in. Lacazette stalls in the box. Saka stalls in the box, and the ball just sails right in front of them. You know.
Martinelli
We're
does
talking
no
about
wrong.
42nd minute. We're talking about 42nd minute. He's got to release the ball to Odegaard in that
Yeah,
situation.
if he's looking for it and he sees the goal in front of him, I expect him to shoot. I don't know. Maybe
Oh.
you know.
If somebody's
way
in a
too
better
much.
position, I expect to pass.
He has to get his teammates involved. He's always looking to shoot instead
We're
of
playing
pass.
City. We're playing City.
I think he's
Gotta make the best
just
Let's hear what
opportunity.
Matt has to say, Gary.
Well,
I just think, I just think he's because obviously don't forget he's come off the last few games. He's scored a couple of goals. He's probably hungry for more. He's probably got that mentality, hasn't he, of just go for goal. And I think that's something again that they'll probably work on and just say, look, appreciate you're obviously wanting to score more goals, and that's great, but you need to kind of pick out players and choose when's best to shoot and when's best to pass. But you know, it is what it is. You know, on another day, he may have put that in the back of the net.
But Stan, I get what you're saying. He did hit the woodwork when he had an open goal, and he's got to put that away as well. Can we agree on that, Gary?
I didn't see too much. I couldn't say too much where I went, you know what? I wish he would have passed that off.
Open goal. No, we're going to the second half. Open goal.
No, but I mean, the ones I'm talking about, I felt like he was the one making things happen, and he deserved to take the shot. I don't feel like he did that much in the first, as much as we say in the first half, where there were opportunities where he basically should have passed it. So.
And wants him to take the shot as well over the pass. No, when you've got an acute angle like that, and it's very, very difficult to score. You pass to a teammate who's open. Odegaard is open in that situation in the 42nd minute. Like I said, I know I'm going to get flack for saying something about Martinelli, but
and the 42nd minute is the one where Martinelli basically runs right past them. And you're telling me he does all that work, and now he gets an opportunity to take a shot, which he takes, and it's a little bit wide. That it's his fault. Come on,
you have a chance to get a shot on target.
I get it. I get it when he should have done that, but he did all of that work, put himself in a good situation.
Gary, is it an individual game or is it a team game? Is it a team game or individual game? Team sport, Gary.
There is individual brilliance, and you know what? Martinelli has it. So you don't stemmy that. You don't.
Gary, you're gonna see.
You don't stemmy that. I don't know where he's gonna go, but if that's Henry with the ball at his feet there, you don't say, you know what? I think you should probably look for the pass.
Gary,
you know,
that's Henry.
But I'm saying you got to build it. You got to build from somewhere, right?
Gary,
Martinelli's showing us some good stuff, right?
Thierry Henry was one of the highest players in assists. He assisted.
I'm not talking about at the end of his days. I'm talking about when he was young,
all through his career.
Right?
Through his Arsenal
career, he had high assists.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, Thierry Henry had high assists all through his career.
Yeah. I don't agree that he should have just tried for assists in those situations.
We know who Gary's baby is.
Make the best, make the right pass in that situation. 40
what's the right pass if you take the shot and you just miss it?
That's not the right choice.
Could have happened. That could have happened.
If you miss, Gary, it's not the right choice.
And you're trying to make it sound like Odegaard is going to make the shot just because he gets it further away from the goal.
Odegaard central.
Let's get
further
to the
away
second
from
half,
the goal.
Ray.
No,
let's move on.
He is further away.
I'll show you
a freeze frame of where he is when he should have get the ball. He's further away, no doubt about it.
No, it's a penalty kick, Gary.
Let's move on. Second half.
I win. There you go. Let's move on.
Let's get through your notes.
All right. Open goal, Gary.
Menudo notebook.
Open goal in the second half. Martinelli's got the score there.
He has to. Yeah.
There you go. I got him to say it, Matt. Tony.
What do you mean? You got me to say it. I expected him to score.
I've been saying it all along.
He puts 2 or 3 away of his shots on target. He probably scores. And we don't even talk about the officials today.
Tony?
Before we move on to the second half, can we see what Matt has to say about Martinelli?
Yeah, absolutely. I think he agrees.
Why do you keep bringing Matt in? He just wants.
He's on the panel. What do you mean?
It's
why
interesting.
they're
No, I think Martinelli, the first one, I think, it's questionable. As a forward attacking player, his head's going to be in the space to shoot, isn't it? I can see from both sides whether he passes or whether he shoots. To be honest, I think it's kind of a decision that the player has to make in the spare of the moment, to be honest, in whether he feels he's got enough space, time, etc. to shoot. I think if it's very clear that there's another player in a better position, I agree with Ray. He should probably make that pass, be unselfish, but he's a quality player and he can put the ball in the back of the net. So you kind of have to trust him sometimes to take those shots and maybe put it in the back of the net. It wouldn't be beyond him to do that. So I don't really mind with that one so much. I think the one where you got a clear goal, clear open goal, you expect those definitely to be finished and to put that in the back of the net. So, but
a lot of love for Martinelli here. So
yeah, he's great, and he's going to do great things. I think the more minutes he gets, and the more experience he gets, he's going to do fantastic.
You can't put my name and that guy's name in the same sentence. Sorry. Me and you aren't friends if you keep doing that. Stop doing that.
Could Gary be put in timeout?
Why did I get a timeout? Because you don't agree with me?
Can I just say with Brownie, where just a minute ago he made a comment about if you argue with Toney, you get put in the gulags. What you don't realise is that behind you somewhere in Toney's room, there's a photo of him bare-chested on the back of a horse like Putin. He's hiding it from you.
I can see that. I can see that. All right, listen. We love Martinelli. I just want him to make the right choice and stand.
You can't say make the right choice. You can't say that because
yes.
you don't know what the right choice
is. The percentage choice.
Percentage doesn't say take your best shooter and give it to somebody who's less of a shooter than you.
Odegaard has more goals. Odegaard has more goals than Martinelli this season.
He's played more. It's a big deal. You can't. What are you?
Ray, put him in the box. Come on.
You be in the box if you want. But Martinelli is my man. We don't be talking negative about him.
Listen, I hate to say it because I love him as well. I love Emile Smith-Rowe. He's not playing regularly as well. But Odegaard, I recognize, is playing better. Martinelli has a big role to play for the remainder of the season. And I think we're going to see it, Gary. Let's remember this conversation. The first podcast of 2022. Remember Martinelli, in my opinion, not making the pass. In the next games, he will look up. He will find a player in a better position, and he will make that pass. And we will score goals.
See, and for me, he'll take the shot sooner, and it won't matter. And you'll be cheering him on because he scored.
If he keeps missing,
touch, right? So
it
goes both ways there too.
We have to be fair, Gary. If he misses, he gets criticized.
Yeah, he misses. And you're saying Odegaard's going to make it because you didn't see the shot. You didn't see the opportunity come. That doesn't make any sense either. It goes both ways. Right?
Odegaard is free. Tony, Odegaard is free, 12 yards out, unmarked.
He's been scoring. He needs the ball. Martinelli, like I said, he doesn't look to pass very often. He's always got his eyes on a goal, especially those longer runs. He needs to look for his teammates. It'll probably come. But to me, he tries to do too much alone. Doesn't try to involve his teammates enough.
Yep.
That's really my biggest criticism against the player. He'll probably develop that. But right now, he needs to look for his players because Odegaard and Lacazette's doing that all the time. Lacazette's sacrificing a lot of goals. Odegaard sacrificing some assists and some goals because they're looking to involve their teammates.
Do you know what, though, Tony? Kind of just thinking about this for a second. One of the biggest frustrations I've had as an Arsenal fan sometimes is that we take forever to have a shot at goal.
I agree with it.
Shoot! For goodness sake, shoot! And I kind of agree with Ray because obviously you want the right person to be shooting at the right time and it to be given to the right person to do that. But at the same time, do you know what? I'm kind of actually really pleased we have a player like Martinelli who has that real hunger to go for goal, who has a real instinct to drive and shoot and score. I almost don't want to take that away from him because we don't really have too many players that are actually really instinctively wanting to shoot. They're all very much, let's tinker around, let's pass it around, and let's work it out.
I think we're getting there, man.
We're getting there. We're better. We're better. We're better. But yeah, we're better. But I still think it's good to have a player like that who is so focused on I want to shoot and I want to score. I almost forgive him the couple of times where he doesn't do that because I almost don't want to take that away from his game. Because Saka and Emil Smith-Rowe will get the goals, and they'll pop up in the right places and get them. But you almost want Martinelli to be that one player who just is hungry for goal. He wants to shoot. He wants to score. I almost personally actually kind of think, well, actually, I don't really want to take that away from him. I want him to do that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I'm
watching the replay because I'm like,
Toney,
I didn't see it, and he's not in the penalty box. He's standing at the 18.
By the time the ball will come to him, he'll be in the box.
Yeah, that's after he's beaten two guys in the box, right? By then, he's not passing it back.
He's open.
Can't.
He's unmarked, Gary. He
can't pass it to him at that point. Where you want him to pass it, he's like 10 yards outside the 18 at that point. After that, he's in the box. He's not passing it back.
He's probably 8 yards from the byline, so you got to run it on a little bit more.
No. I know what you're talking about, but by that point, he can't go backwards. He can't go back and make that pass.
He can pass. He can cross.
He crosses it across, and guess who's not there to finish it off, to tip it in? Lacazette and Saka could have just tipped that ball in.
Ray, hit the mute button.
I looked at that play multiple times because I was like, damn, we almost could have scored it. It wasn't just Martinelli. It could have been Lacazette or Saka at that point.
That's a good shot. I mean, Martinelli is doing what we thought Pepe would be doing. So
and you guys want him to pass.
We want him to make the right choice.
I even got Matt to probably come to my side a little bit.
We want him to make the right choice. I'm going to go to you, Toney, in a second. We're going to do the Don Juan. We're going to do a Liverpool preview. We're going to do a Kahoot game. So those who are still watching, stick around, play Kahoot game, download the app.
Is this going to be a fucking 3-hour show then, Ray?
And we're going to have maybe a backstage pass for whoever wants to come. We'll drop.
We might have to mute Gary a couple times
after we end the broadcast. Come in and say hello if you want to. Toney, what have you got?
I was going back to what Matt said. We've been getting a lot of these goals out of 3 or 4 passes. We've been looking for the long ball, doing the through balls, using the speed of Martinelli and Saka. But everything is shorter goals since Uba's been out. But Martinelli should be looking to pass because, like you said, Odegaard's wide open.
You're playing the best team in the land, Gary. You have to be smarter. You have to be smarter.
If they press on him,
you can't say that.
Like Matt said,
you can't stop Picasso just because he's paying in the side.
Odegaard's smart enough to pass the ball if he's closed down.
Don't poke the Russian bear, Gary. Don't poke it.
I don't care. I don't care.
Gary is
2022. I'm crazy.
How many warnings does Gary get before he gets in the penalty box, right?
So Toney,
hey, we went through 2 weeks of Toney on a tear. You get like 5 minutes of me, and you want to cancel me. Come on.
So Gary, you're
voted. I don't want to cancel
Toney and I disagree with you. Matt has got splinters in his ass.
Oh, look at that! You're going after my man Matt now. He doesn't agree with you. What is
the
up
Don
with
Juan's gonna be quick and easy this week.
Yeah, it's not going to be easy. Is it going to be easy?
It's not easy. It's really not. You can go multiple ways and you won't lose.
Start us off, Gary. I want to see if you agree with me. Never happens. It never happens, but let's see if you agree.
No, let's see. I mean, I think there are a number of choices we can make here. For me, you've got Saka and Martinelli up top making a case, and then you've got Tomiyasu and Partey also on that list of candidates for players of the match. I mean, you take any one of those 4, you get something good out of it in this game, right? Yep. Yep. The game is lost because Partey doesn't have his partner. Gabriel's gone. That basically kills it from us from the middle perspective, and we lose it all right there. Because when we go to a holding, and it's just not the same. We lost Gabriel after the first yellow, basically, as far as I'm concerned, and then he finishes it himself off basically at that point. But those 4 players are the candidates in this game. They made. I think they made.
Gary, speed it up. We're behind.
We're running behind. Speed it up.
Oh,
We started.
I'm gonna go with you know what? I'm gonna go different than I thought I was gonna go. I believe it's Partey, probably the player of the match in this one. He kept control of that middle, and we see a lot of the balls going into the middle to Erdegaard and then swinging out wide. Xhaka also getting involved in that. I think because you've got a Partey in it, it's having a really good game. That middle for me was really quiet in the sense that I wasn't fearful of it like I have in the past, where the ball goes in the middle and we get on the ball and then we're in trouble. It had never happened. It didn't really happen in this match, at least in the first half. So I'm going to give it to Partey because because everybody else gets a chance, but I think Partey kind of helped. He kind of held everything up, basically. He was definitely the foundation of what was going on there.
Partey was immense. Going up against that midfield, he beat a few players in midfield and just opened things up for us. One of my players on that checklist. Matt, who have you got?
Yeah, I agree with Gary. I think I'm going to give it to Partey just because I think in previous games we've really seen that, our wide players have been fantastic. Our defenders have been great, but we've lost games because we haven't had that shield in front of the defence. And we've let the other teams run riot in front and in the centre of the park. So you can see the massive difference it makes. And we've got someone like Partey actually on form, actually playing well and actually controlling the midfield. It makes an absolute world of difference.
Yeah.
And he, like I say, he bossed it. He absolutely bossed it. So for me, Partey had the best game I've seen in an Arsenal shirt so far. And that was the Partey we've paid for and that we want to see. So yeah, big shout to Partey. He was fantastic. So yeah, Partey for me.
I agree with you guys, Partey, but that is not my choice. My choice is Tomiyasu. In a game where we worried about Sterling, and Sterling was a danger. He basically had he had him in his pocket. He had Sterling in his pocket. He helped. I believe he helped Saka down the right as well, doing what Saka does. But I think Tomiyasu, we worried about him. If he wasn't going to start, it might have been a slightly different game, having to accommodate Ben White and Holding in the back four. Anyway, 2 votes for Partey, 1 for Tomiyasu. But
that's a good shout for Tomiyasu because I was definitely impressed with him. And like you said, Sterling got nothing. Multiple times it was 1-on-1 Sterling against Tomiyasu. Tomiyasu won pretty much 90% of the time.
And I think maybe
big shout to your boy Saka though.
A podcast definitely toward the end of the season.
There you go. Thank you.
Which of the 6 podcasts for the summer, maybe, which of the 6 was our best acquisition from last summer?
That podcast.
There'll be lots of good candidates there. But anyway, Toney really decides who it is, who the Don Juan is. Our votes do not count in this.
Let's see, that'd be 2-2 or 3-1?
Yeah, I know.
To me,
so you could pick a third candidate if you want.
I'm not picking a third candidate. I told you it's a be easy choice. It's gonna be Partey. This is the Partey that we wanted. We finally were able to control the middle with the help of Odegaard and Lacazette. But Partey was carrying the ball up. We're seeing what we wanted to see from him. Tomiyasu had a great game on the wing, offensively and defensively, but to me, it's for Partey we wanted to see. Now he's fucking going to AFCON after he finally finds his form.
Thanks, Stefan.
Now he'll probably pick up an injury in AFCON, get COVID, get something. So
good luck with the writing.
He'll be out of form for the next month when he returns, but we're seeing with Partey we wanted to. To me, it's clearly Partey.
We're losing Partey to the AFCON just as he finds his rhythm, unfortunately. Okay, that's it. It is Thomas Partey. And listen, I hope he can find some consistency because this is the kind of player that we need moving forward.
He needs a partner, though.
He needs a partner. And we talked about our back 5 and our front 4. We needed something in the middle. Well, hopefully Partey playing like this solidifies the whole team together. We needed that midfield, and we need better choices from Granit Xhaka as well. who
Aren't we interested in Bruno Guimaraes in the January window? I've heard rumors of that.
I got him on my list here as well. So you want to do transfers real quickly?
We had rumors for him last summer.
Let's have a quick discussion about transfers then. So I've got a few on my
Before
radar.
we get there, let's answer Stan's question. We're the transfers now.
Where's the question?
Didn't you start like you're supposed to, host?
Where's the question?
The question was, what do we think of 20 million plus the option to sign Uba for Newcastle?
Poor Ray. I'm sorry.
I think
you know what you do. You know what you do. You're like, you know what? I'll get back to you. I'll get back to you. And you know what he does? He just helps you forget.
Mute him, Ray. Come on.
All of us are going to host this coming year. It'll be a New Year's resolution. We're all going to take turns hosting. That means that Putin down here will be hosting his own show.
Hashtag bareback Putin.
I haven't eaten dinner yet, so can we hold off on that thought? I don't even want to think about that just yet.
Can we answer Stan's question now?
Yeah, Toney, I think it's a good move. Let's send them to Newcastle. Let's do it. Get some money going in the right direction for us. Aubameyang, he might hurt us. He might score against us, but I think we've got enough going forward against Newcastle if we meet him again. What do you think, Toney?
I like it, but there's one thing I'd change about it. Obligation to buy, not option to buy. I'm tired of perpetually loaning out these players. Let's get them fucking sold and out of the club.
Okay. That's
Obligation
fair.
to buy.
That's fair. Let's go counterclockwise. Matt, what's your thoughts on Newcastle? And Brownie was not the first to break this. Don't let Brownie tell you that.
Do you know what? I'll hold my hands up, Ray, because you called it. You called it. So I've got to give it to you. You know, you did mention this a while back, saying how, you know, it wouldn't be surprising if Newcastle went in for him and he ended up there. I was quite I can't see that happening. I can't see Aubameyang going there. I can't see them going for him. And lo and behold, we get the transfer potential news as that might be happening. So, you know, obviously I don't know anything, and Ray knows everything. Clearly, he can predict the future.
I think he could.
Man, just because you butter up Ray don't
Gary, I got it wrong. I got it wrong. I didn't see it happening at all. So I didn't even think they'd go for him. I still don't think he'd actually end up there.
Don't think he'll end up. You're muted for 2 minutes.
Would you take the deal or not?
You're muted. I don't think he'll end up there, just simply because I think he's more likely to go to Italy. I think the rumours of Juventus, I think that'll prove a bigger pull to him. So I think he's more likely to go to Juventus personally. But it's interesting.
Or not?
100%. Yeah, I'd pack his bags for him, and I'd drive him up. I'd drive him up the motorway. But I'm just not sure whether it'd actually happen in the end. But it'd be a big statement signing for them. I think he'd probably do okay there.
Yeah.
So
I think he scored goals. I think he would score goals. I'm going to have to unmute Gary now. So I was a bit of banter there, Gary. But you were going to say something mean.
Why do you listen to Toney?
You're going to say mean.
It took him 30 minutes to fucking put you in a
Toney is what's the guy's name? Toney is the Jared Gillett to my Stuart Atwell. He advised that I should, under VAR advisement, I was advised to mute you, Gary.
Take a look at this. I think he's, no. You know what? As long as we get the monies that we want, he should be gone. I mean,
proposal. Could Albert refuse any proposal?
Yeah, I mean, we're not playing him, so what difference does it make where he goes?
True.
We definitely, as Toney said, what are you putting your hand up? Let me speak.
He wants to speak next.
You know what? I definitely believe, we can't, there's no trial run required. You know exactly what player you're getting. You know what his skill set is. So if you're going to take him 100%. We can't afford to have him come back. One, because we have other things to deal with, right? And if that means you give him, he goes away for 20 instead of probably the 30 that he's probably worth, then so be it. Because we're not playing him anyways, and we're doing okay. 20 mil in the bank would be really nice to use towards, like we said. I guess we'll talk about it. Some of the other players that might come in. So I think they want him, so he should be happy there, right? So I say make the deal. I don't at this point. I don't
Make
care
the
where any
deal.
player that we have goes because we're not playing them anyway. So if they can do better elsewhere, so be it.
So you say, could he refuse it though? I think Stan's point's quite right. I mean, could he actually
can
turn down
refuse
that?
it,
Can he refuse that?
He can.
Because I think that'd be the issue. I think because would he? Do you think he'd actually, if an offer came in and Arsenal wanted to get rid of him and sell him to Newcastle, do you think he would accept that? Do you think?
I think it depends what Newcastle tells him what else they're planning on doing.
True. Yeah. Yeah. True. Yeah, it's a good point. It depends.
I mean, against us, Newcastle had a striker running at our defenders, right, 1-on-1, and that's what he wants to be able to do. So they can continue to do that. I mean, they did it against us, right, without him there. So you put him in there, and maybe you get a similar result in the kind of way he wants to play, in a way you can get the best out of him. So
no, like he'd score a hat trick.
I'm going to turn the volume down. I'm going to give the Kahoot pin out to everybody. Turn down the volume because it irritates Mr. Putin here. Go ahead.
I finally decided to scroll down. My finger got a little tired. How the fuck long did it take you to write the show description today, Ray? Did you work on it all week?
No. Actually, you know what? It does take an amount of time to prepare notes through the game, watching it.
Hell, you have like 1,200 words there, Ray. Come on.
Putting thumbnail together and putting the description in there in the.
You wrote half an essay.
I do it for you, Tony.
You put all that work in, and then all of your takes are so weak. I don't understand what's going on.
Woo!
Hey,
that was a high stick, Ray. Put him back in the box.
Martinelli. Just because they came after Martinelli, that's weak.
That was a high stick, Ray. He should be back in the box.
It was a high stick indeed. Maybe Stan will play this game. Who knows? We'll see what happens. You know what I mean? But my takes, I think they're pretty good at the time, Gary. So there's the pin. 149.626. Rids has a clear run at it. There's no Sam. The GOAT is not here today. Yeah, listen, what's wrong with these takes? Fixture congestion coming as the league, Carabao and FA Cup collide. What else is there? You didn't like any of these, Gary?
I just have to poke. That's all.
What?
I just have to poke. That's all. Just because I don't agree with some of it.
You have to poke. Is your volume a little lower? Or is that me on my side?
He's low.
You're
I think
low,
his
Gary.
voice is. He's been talking so much, his voice is finally starting to go, Ray.
Well, I'm a little worried about the captaincy. I think Lacazette is adapting to the captaincy role really, really well. Gabriel, negative. Tierney, positive this weekend, and Ramsdale, positive. I thought the way Ramsdale carried himself with press conferences and interviews yesterday was brilliant. I didn't like the scuffing of the penalty spot, if I'm honest. I didn't like that.
Right, guys, did you hear in the this made me laugh, right? And obviously Cancelo, obviously with whatever happened with his robbery and all that, I don't, whatever, that's obviously a horrible thing to go through. But did you see the comments that apparently there was a scuffle after the game in the dugout or something like that? Where they said, he said something along the lines of, like, this is the biggest robbery since he went through that, and I just thought that's got, and the player's name hasn't been confirmed. That's got to be Ramsdale. It's got to be Ramsdale.
I thought it was a little bit rough because
that's ultimate shithouse.
How does it feel to be part of two robberies all in the same 24-hour period or something like that?
I thought it was
Ramsdale or Gabriel.
It's got to be Ramsdale.
If you go through a home invasion, I just thought it was a little bit tough, a little bit bad as well. If you go through a home invasion, I've never been involved in one. I hope I never am. But that's the situation.
Right, let's speed this up and get to your Kahoot quiz.
Let's get to the Kahoot. Okay.
Is Ray like the director, producer, whatever? What's going on here? What are you trying to direct things? Ray, this is your show. You
We're
control it.
already at 2 hours. We still got like 3 topics to cover.
I guess Gary Toney has come down on my side for a lot of the discussion tonight, so he's my podcast buddy this week. You like to fight me just to fight me, Gary.
Yeah.
We have 5 in the Kahoot. We'll get started in 1 minute. Ty, if you want to download the app, download the Kahoot app. It is free. Put the pin in. You can play an interactive quiz game. We do it most.
Do it, guys. Do not
podcasts.
miss out. This is something I actually really look forward to every Sunday.
Good.
This is really good. Let's do it.
No more
Get
fucking
involved.
trick questions this time, Ray.
I didn't have a lot of time. They're a little bit more straightforward, but I'm still going to get criticized, and that's kind of what happens when you are.
That's all Gary does is criticize. Yes,
When you're the host, you just get criticized all the time. Right,
especially
Gary?
from Gary.
Yep. That's what I do.
All right, let's do this. We're going to get started. We got 5 people in there. Maybe anyone else? Rids, Ramiyasu, Stoney, DWTT, and Boris Yeltsin. So I'm not sure who Boris Yeltsin is, but taking on.
Imagine that Stan. I think Stan re-downloaded the app.
Stan re-downloading the app. That's amazing. All right, there we go. Let's start.
Amazed you didn't go for Papa Bear Putin.
And we're starting. Ready? Here we go.
Boris Yeltsin.
Can everyone see the screen?
We can.
Okay.
Yep.
And the volume is low. Okay. Albert Stuyvenberg was an assistant coach with what other Premier League team?
Oh, good shot.
Everton, Man United, Man City, or Leeds
Crap,
United?
Which one is it? Oh, I think I'm going to go here.
Albert Stuyvenberg was an assistant coach with what other league team?
Oh,
I
I'm an
knew it
idiot.
was the other one. I knew
Oh,
it was
no,
one
I'm
of the
not. I got
two.
it right. I thought it was.
Yeah,
All right,
it was one
Man
of the, I can't
United
remember
was
which
the
one.
correct answer. Man City and Everton were incorrect, so we're getting a split right away here. And Boris Yeltsin and Ramiyasu were in the lead. Second question. Tomiyasu was signed from which Italian club? Bari, Roma, Fiorentina, or Bologna? Tomiyasu was signed from which Italian club? Bari, Roma, Fiorentina, Bologna. 4 correct answers for Bologna, 1 incorrect for Fiorentina. And Gary, you'll notice I used Martinelli, so I don't have an agenda against Martinelli. It's true. Which team is currently higher in the league right now? Which team is higher in the league? Southampton, Leeds, Everton, Watford. Have you looked at the league table this
No,
morning?
I'm just guessing here, so I think I'm wrong, but all right, whatever.
Southampton, Leeds, Everton, or Watford.
I love the
Guessing.
dog.
I love the dog too. 2
Yeah.
correct answers for Southampton. I
Wow.
thought doing this might put the cat among the pigeons and just give it a little bit more of a. But I think Ramiyasu and Boris Yeltsin got the right answers. Boris Yeltsin, 3 correct answers in a row. There's still 6 left. Nottingham Forest has a legendary manager. Who is he? Nottingham Forest had a legendary manager. Don Revie, Brian Clough, Jim Smith, or
I'm just
Graham
guessing
Skinner.
because I don't know.
I think 4 correct answers, Brian Clough. 1
Michael
incorrect of Graham Souness.
Was it Michael Sheen who played him in the film?
Oh, yeah. Yep.
Very, very
Yeah.
good. If anybody hasn't seen that, watch it. It's
Damn
very good.
United, right?
Mm.
Ramiyasu has a highest answer streak of 4. It's Ramiyasu 3690, Boris Yeltsin 3379. Rids, come on, Rids. DW.
He's going to make a late sprint. He always does this. He always does it. He'll be top at come to the end. Don't worry about that.
All right. What does YNWA mean? You'll never walk alone. You'll now win again. You never want Arsenal. You know what, Arnold? What does YNWA mean? 5 correct answers. No tricks in there. That was a gimme. That was the gimme. 46-53. Ramiyasu. Boris Yeltsin is good. Good player here, Boris Yeltsin. We don't know who you are. We know Stoney is Toney, right, Stoney?
Yep.
Gary in fourth place. 4 left to go. What has the Carabao Cup not been called before? The League Cup, the Cadbury's Cup, the Rumbelows Cup, the Littlewoods Cup. What has the League Cup not been called before?
Oh, I think I've got this wrong, actually.
I just guessed.
I knew that's what it was.
That was
Damn
the
it.
first one I had. I went away from it too, man.
One
Oh.
correct answer of the Cadbury's Cup. It has not been called the Cadbury's Cup.
That's what I was originally going to go with. Fuck.
Yeah, as soon as I pressed it, I knew I'd made a mistake there as well.
Me too.
Wow, one person. It's Boris
Yeltsin, he's done it. The
Boris
mystery
has
man.
jumped in the
The
lead.
mystery man has done it. He's jumped into the lead.
3 left. Arsenal are connected historically to which clubs for shirts and the manager separately? Nottingham Forest and Huddersfield, City and Scarborough, Sunderland and Crewe, or Birmingham and Brighton. Arsenal have been connected historically to Nottingham Forest and Huddersfield. Correct.
Good
5
shout,
questions.
everybody. Well done.
Good job.
I
everybody.
just guessed on that one. So
It's
That's all
very
you ever do,
close.
Gary.
Very close between Matt and Boris Yeltsin. Rids and Gary fighting out for third spot.
What about me? I'm not that far behind. Come on.
Which team is higher in the league? Wolves, Brighton, Leicester City, or Palace? Which team is higher in the league right now? Wolves,
I'm
Brighton,
guessing. So.
Leicester, or Palace? I didn't have a lot of time, so I put this together hastily,
I
but
done well.
it's still a fun one. 4 correct answers, Brighton. 1 incorrect of Leicester City. Boris has got 8 in a row. He's Rami Yasu, you got to be quick, Matt, for the last
no.
question here. DWTT.
Tough.
Boris is on
Tough fight for
fire.
third place here.
Yeah, Toney, you and Reds have 1 point between you. So let's do it, Reds. Keep Stoney at the bottom in the relegation zone. 1 more to go.
It's you and me, Boris.
Which team is 5th in the league right now? Man United, Wolves, West Ham, or Brighton? Which team is 5th in the league right now?
I think I got this right. We'll see.
I hope so. Happy Sunday, everyone. Happy New Year, everybody. 5 correct answers of West Ham. Boris Yeltsin, the winner. Gary made it onto the podium. Robbie Aston,
Oh, that was close.
second.
Wow, that was close. Well done, Boris Yeltsin, whoever you are.
18 points.
Tony, you want to tell us who that is? Yes,
It's not Tony. It can't be.
Who
Well
got
done, Boris.
Who got 4th place?
It is not Tony, right?
That was close. 18 points. Wow.
Yep. Good bit of fun, though. Good bit of fun.
That's great fun, yeah.
I'm going to switch back over here. Let's have a little chat about Liverpool. I'm going to throw on a light here, drop out. Hope everybody enjoyed that quiz. Gary, start us off with Liverpool. We're going to face them on Thursday in the first line.
Oh, so he's gone. Look at that. All right, so we're playing Liverpool. I mean, we're playing. What day is that? Because I was trying to look and see.
He said Thursday.
It's Thursday. Okay. All right. So yeah, no, I mean they're going to be missing Salah, Mane,
3 players and their manager.
and the manager's out ill. So yeah, the 2 threats that we don't have to deal with, which is good. The defense will be solid though. All right. So we're gonna have to deal with that. But I think we should be able to. We're playing at home. We've been pretty good at home. If we play, I think we play anywhere close to where we did against City, and also we're not going to be as well. They're going to be depleted. We're not necessarily going to be depleted except for Partey, which is a big problem for us. But their attacking won't be the same no matter who they put in. It's just you can't take out Salah and Mane and expect us to and expect similar results. That's not going to happen. So I kind of feel like this is our opportunity to steal one and run away with it. You know, get some points, get a large goal difference. If we're going to get one, this will be the game to do it. So we need to. We need to,
Liverpool's in the
and we
Liverpool's
also
in the
need to
front,
redeem ourselves from the previous game, right? The smell of that the last 30 minutes of that game, we need to kind of wash it off and show that it didn't affect us as much as it did.
My here did it.
Oh, good
Hey!
dad, good job.
If he's telling me, if he's
Well
telling
done.
me,
Well done, Gundit.
we don't
Yeah.
know.
For me, for sure, this is a game we can win. This is a game we need to win. Just one to stay in it, and we need to put some goal difference between us. So, yeah.
Gary, let me ask you one thing. Would you go strong before we go to Matt and Tony? Would you pick basically the same team as we faced?
Definitely.
I'm tempted to do the same thing. No Leno and goal for me.
No. There's no reason. I mean, we're playing Nottingham Forest, and that's probably when you let Leno play if you're going to let him play at all, right?
Yeah.
So
I didn't catch the crux of what you're saying, but basically, we do need to get a decent lead going into the second leg against Liverpool. Go strong, right, Matt? What do you want to see?
Why do we always have to talk about these first and second legs?
We're trying to get you a second leg.
Firstly, Riddy, I think to be fair, is just giving other people a chance. I think he's been very kind to everybody.
Yeah.
I think he's had a festive break. He's feeling particularly kind to everybody, and he's allowed someone else to just have a bit of absolutely. Cheers, Riddy. He'll be back next time. Don't you worry about that.
Yeah,
he'll be leading again. No, the Liverpool obviously 2 legs. I think we're in prime position to go and win those games. I think, like Gary said, there's a few factors there that mean, we should go in confident, particularly after that performance against Man City. And we're going to be a bit of a wounded animal, I think. It's a cup game against a top side, regardless of who they're missing. We're going to want to go in and get a decent result and go and put in a good performance, make sure that we kind of put that behind us. And I think being a semi-final as well, it's a big opportunity for us to get some silverware this season as well. So I think the players will be revved up for this, and I think they'll want to go in and kind of win that game and comfortably, so that when we play them away in the second leg, we don't have too much to worry about, and we can kind of be a bit smart with it. So I think I'm positive about this game. I wouldn't have been before that City game, but seeing how we've played and what we're capable of, given that obviously, like Gary says, there are a couple of players short, I think we've got a real opportunity here to go and get a good result and really put us in a favourable position for the second leg. So I'm positive. I think we just need to kind of maybe stick with the same kind of team. Don't go out with a weakened side. Go out there and sniff blood, so to speak, and put the game away. And then do what we need to in the second leg to kind of see us through to the finals. So, I'm looking forward to it. It's going to be good.
Yeah, and we have, I think, 5 days now. So, Tony, we shouldn't really need to worry. The league now, we stick a pin in the league for 2 weeks. We face Tottenham, and that's a team we shouldn't worry about games in hand, but we do need to worry about Tottenham as a rival and where we have a possibility to put them out of where we need to hurt them. We need to hurt them in 2 weeks so we could eat into their games in hand. But until then, we have cup commitments that we can devote ourselves to, Tony, and we should put a full strength team out.
Yeah, to me, the only player I'd probably rest is Saka. The FA Cup's more important. It starts 3 days later. We can field the weak team against that. But if we actually want to win the League Cup, we need to field a strong side. I'd throw everybody we've been playing except for Saka out there. I'd probably go ahead and start Smith Rowe instead of him since Pepe's been crap. Let Pepe play Saturday if he's still with us.
I
thought they have to leave.
They're gone.
They're gone already, I thought.
I think they're gone. I think, in fact, from that Liverpool game, they were talking about Mendy and Mane sharing a flight going to AFCON. So I think they're gone. So our African players have Partey, Pepe, and all of those, Gary, are gone. But I think Toney makes a good point. Maybe the only change we need to make really is Erdegaard for Emil Smith Rowe in the centre. And Sambi maybe in midfield.
Well, you're gonna have to find a replacement for Partey first.
Yeah.
Mm.
And then figure out where you go from there.
Tony, don't even say single pivots. I'm not doing that for the next month.
Hey, Arteta has tried it 3 times this year, so
yeah, and each of the 3, it probably didn't come off very well, did it? Didn't work very well.
2 of them worked out all right.
Liverpool.
Just Zaka as a single pivot did not work. If I see that again, I'm gonna go pro bar Arteta.
So Gary, Liverpool are going to be losing Salah and Mane. They're going to probably field a weakened team. This, as you said in the first round of this, we have a real chance to take a decent lead into the second leg.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's what we're going to need to do. I mean, we have to take advantage.
Second leg, right? Keep rubbing it in.
One, our home form, right? And then 2, the fact that we're only missing one of our key cogs, right? They're missing 2, so yeah. And I don't know if Keita started. Did he start the last match? I'm not sure.
He didn't play today. I don't think he played today.
So yeah, I mean, for us, this is a depleted side. I mean, it's not depleted, but they're not going to be at full strength, and Partey probably means more to us than Salah and Mane means to them. But that's a difference between a 3. That's 3 goals for them if they're both playing, and we've been, things have gone the way they've gone in the past. So we need to take advantage and get the win.
And you also got Alisson, Firmino, and Matip out too with COVID. So
yeah, and Klopp, unfortunately, he's got to isolate as well. Arteta will probably come back for this game, and Klopp will be out. The manager situation didn't seem to hinder Liverpool too much, or Arsenal, of course, yesterday. So it's not really a big talking point. But yeah, Matt, let's wind up this one, and you want to talk about a little bit of transfers. If you want to speak more about Liverpool, of course, do. But if you want to, we'll have a couple minutes on transfers as well.
Yeah, I think Liverpool's. I think it's one of those that we just have to go out there and play with a full strength team. Go out there with the same mentality as we did against City. Right the wrongs. Prove that it's not just a one-off. That it's something that we're capable of doing, kind of week in, week out. And that's the way we want to play now, and that's the way we're going to play. So I think we need to kind of use this as our benchmark and say, right, that's the flag in the sand. This is what we're capable of, and this is what we're going to do now. And take advantage of the fact that they're missing Klopp. Take advantage of the fact that they're missing certain key players. Let's go get a good result, and then push forwards, because we want to be in that final and we want to be in sniff of silverware. So does Toney have his own cameraman?
He's like this. Stan, he's like this.
A very small one on the desk. Yeah.
My only worry would be, and I think Liverpool are still going to fight in the league, but this draw that they had with Chelsea might make them want to look more at the semi-final.
Stan, it's a midget luchador.
It's true. I mean, that game, I didn't catch all of it, but I think I caught it probably about around 65 minutes, and it was end to end.
Yeah, for about 65 minutes they went after each other. I thought the last 15 it was a fear of losing the game.
Yeah, end to end stuff. Yeah. I mean, I think whatever team Liverpool put out, they're going to be a good side. I said that. Yeah. I mean, they're a formidable team, whoever they're going to put out. So let's not make any bones about it. They're going to be a tough team to beat. But I think I certainly go into this game more confident than we would have done previously. I think that the team itself will certainly take a huge amount from the City game and really believe that they've got no one to fear now. If they can play like that against City, they can do it against Liverpool.
I loved what Ramsdale had to say. We're a young team. We don't fear anyone. It reminds me of Leeds team about 20 years ago under David O'Leary. They didn't fear anyone.
And that's what you need. You need fearless.
Yeah, exactly. Toney, let's talk about a few transfers. I've got a couple of. We talked about Aubameyang, Toney. I got a couple of names on here. Watkins somehow he might be out of favour at Aston Villa, and Arteta likes him. He's an Arsenal fan. He could be a replacement for Aubameyang. Jonathan David at Lille. Watkins has 21 goals in 56 games. Jonathan David has 12 goals in 19 games this season. Two good options for strikers. Of course, there's DCL and Toney as well, which may be more difficult to do in January.
I think it just kind of depends. Like I said, World Cup's coming up, seeing which of these players wants to move or they'll get a little bit more game time. To me,
Gary, we have to do a drinking game. If Toney mentions World Cups or 40 million, we have to take a shot.
I'm up for that.
He'll get us to work. It'll have to
Matt's
be
got his rum bottle right next to him, so he's good to go.
100%. And do you know what? I do like a Jaeger bomb as well. So,
yeah. So Bruno Guimaraes, I think somebody mentioned that in the stream earlier in the chat room, as a midfielder, and Mattias Svanberg is another one from Bologna.
Yeah, Guimaraes we've been linked to 2 or 3 times. It's kind of one of the names
at Lyon.
Always pops up that we never go for.
Well, let's not talk about that German player who we always get linked to, and Karim Benzema. You know,
to
me, do you think we'll do anything in January, Toney?
We definitely have to strengthen the midfield. Parties have begun. You got Sambi and Zaka. You got AMN, which we'll be selling. To me, that's the most important part. Who are we going to be selling? I say AMN and Nuba is definitely out. I think we could get good money for Leno, but can we get a decent backup keeper is the question. So I'm not sure if I'd sell him or not. But we can generate easily 60, 70 million from some player selling candy if you want to. We need at least 1 striker and 2 midfielders. I think that's the minimum.
So the Assembly ran a poll asking if Arsenal is headed in the right direction. One of the options was just here to view the results, 14%. No, 0%. And yes, Arsenal is heading in the right direction, 86%. So
what I voted is 50-50 for
Gary, what's your thoughts on the transfer window? We have to get some players in, and Arteta has historically wanted to bring some players in.
Yeah, I'm hoping they can bring in some of those big names that they've said, you know, that I think we need. I mean, it sounds like I know we always keep talking about a budget. It sounds like we have a lot of money. Every time we say we don't have a lot of money, we turn around and show us that, you know what, we do have enough. We do have enough, right? There's no money coming in. We're expecting not much to come in the summer window. Number one team spent, number one money spent in the summer. So I think we have money, and I think they're backing Arteta. And he hasn't to some degree, he hasn't let them down. All right. So the only way to go is up from here. And so if they're able to fill in one of the holes that we need, be it for me, it would be nice to get a CDM, attacking mid, or even a striker, one of those 3. If they're able to get a player to fill one of those spots,
we need all 3 of them, Gary.
We're not getting that in a January window.
How do you know?
We're not getting all that.
We're not getting all 3 in a January
we need
window.
3 players. We need 2 midfielders and a striker.
We're not getting We're not getting 3 starters in those positions. I can tell you that much.
Anyway, we got to wind this up soon, Toney. So there's a
now you're telling me to slow down when Gary's been carrying on for an hour and 30 minutes.
We're more likely to get loan deals. I think. Maybe 1 actual buy and a couple of loan deals.
Right.
That's what I think.
There's a link down there as we go off air. If anyone wants to use that link, come in, say hello.
Like I said, I feel like there's 3 spots we need to fill. Be nice to get a starter. I just don't see us getting multiple. But if we can get 1 solid player to come in for one of those 3 spots, it'll be good. It'd be nice if it was the midfield, because Partey's out, and we still need. I would like to have an answer for Xhaka, but that's asking too much, I think. But give us a solid player to come in and improve the team, and that's what we need. Multiple loans would be nice. It sounds like Balogun is gone, right, on a loan. It sounds like that's good.
I hope it's not going to be toward the end of the month, so we know what we're doing or what we need. You know
That's
what I
the
mean?
problem, right? Those questions should have already been answered. What we need should have already been answered long before the window even opens up. So it should be a matter of, did the numbers work?
Who should be our outgoings?
Yes, progress has been made. The assembled. If you can't see progress from yesterday's game, I really hope you can see it. That is there.
I don't know, the first half. Just look at the first half, and then tell us if you saw progress. You can, if you want to, you can go look at the second half, but you're not going to see the progress that you saw in the first half for me. So,
and a lot of things I think happened in the second half. We got a little bit timid in what we were doing, but of course there is another team, probably the best team in Europe, if not the world, came back into the game, and they came out of safe mode, and they were able to get something out of the game, engineered something even, against a willing protagonist in Granit Xhaka. Any final words really quickly? No? Apart
from let this start of 2022 continue for the rest of the year and the rest of the season. Just let it continue for the rest of the season.
I have dropped.
I was going to say the 45 minutes of the first half, that should be the catalyst for the rest of the games going forward, because they have it on tape. I don't even know what happened there. What is that?
All right, thanks for watching, everyone. We have dropped the backstage pass, and George is here with us right now. But real quick, gotta close it out, George. What have you got?
I've just been listening to you young ones talking about the Arsenal. You're doing a very good job, and I thought I'd come and join you backstage.
Awesome.
Fantastic, George.
Well, listen, thanks for watching, everyone. If you want to come and say hello to George, grab that link toward the end. Yes, in the end, City did win the assemble. So, hey, we'll catch them next time. Hopefully, one of these days, we will beat a City team.
The assembled sitting there redacting all his fucking messages again.
Thanks for watching, everyone. Come.
Happy New Year's.
Grab that link.
Happy New Year, everybody. Come join us.
Come
join us backstage.
See if Gary brings his boxing gloves for the next episode.
Come on, you